surgical training and clinical work are equivalent to MDs within their defined scope, practicing side by side with other physicians in hospital operating rooms and medical teams across California. Yet they are too often still treated as lesser than, characterized and treated by some health plans and facilities, as the chair mentioned, as ancillary providers. This misclassification is not only inaccurate, it's unjust. It results in unequal reimbursement, professional benefits, and undermines their role in patient care. With the eventual goal of full parity with MDs and DOs, podiatric surgeons must be recognized for what they are: fully trained, highly skilled doctors delivering critical medical and surgical care. Again, we thank the PMC for their continued engagement, look forward to continued discussions, but appreciate your thoughtful review on the policies in light of any fee increase. We urge you to prioritize practice issues in your recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no additional members of the public who want to speak, thank you very much for the presentation today, and looking forward to future conversations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the final item, thank you, appreciate it. The final item on our agenda today is the California Massage Therapy Council. Here to testify on behalf of the council is Amos Netanel, Chief Executive Officer, Mark Dixon, Board Chair, Christy Underwood, Board Secretary, Andrew Garston, Treasurer, and Allison Siegel, Special Counsel. And we're ready when you are.
Good morning, Chairman Berman, Chairwoman Ashby, and members of the committee. I'm Mark Dixon, Certified Massage Professional number 13, and I chair the board of the California Massage Therapy Council. 37 years ago, I left a good career to seek a better one, completed a 1,000-hour massage program, and joined the American Massage Therapy Association, or AMTA. Been a professional member ever since. I have served on the AMTA's California chapter and national boards of directors, as well as on the boards of the other prominent massage industry nonprofits. Now, while I believe AMTA does valuable work, it's important to remember that fewer than 16% of the 50,000 certified massage therapists in California are AMTA members. I and many other AMTA members absolutely oppose licensure for massage therapy in California. I believe the legislature made the right choice when they authorized a certification program for massage professionals rather than licensure. The reasons are many, but three of the most fundamental are: first, local government wants an active role in regulating massage therapy. Through MOUs and agreements with local officials, local government's collaboration with CMTC is effective, expeditious, highly educational, and free. CMTC receives no funding from the state or any local jurisdiction. Second, licensure would be far more expensive for massage professionals than the current certification model. An independent study done at the suggestion of former Senate B&P Chair Richard Roth estimated that licensure would quadruple the fees charged to therapists from $300 every 2 years currently to a minimum of $1,200 every 2 years. Third, CMTC is supported not only by California's DA, sheriffs, and police chiefs associations, but by every major anti-trafficking group. CMTC's collaboration with these various stakeholders groups supports local entities' ability to move much more swiftly than could a licensing board in the battle against exploitation. CMTC continues to strive to better service applicants, certificate holders, and schools, more efficient and cost-effective administration, and additional ways to protect the public. Specifically, CMTC is pleased to report the following. 1, we have rigorously vetted more than 350,000 applications. 2, we've taken more than 13,000 disciplinary actions that would have stagnated with the licensing board and upended them financially. 3rd, we have meticulously implemented fair process and procedure. And 4th, we have with great pains protected the public from fraudulent schools. 5, we've become one of the most transparent nonprofit organizations in the country, receiving the highest possible award, the Platinum Seal, from Candid, formerly GuideStar. a status earned by only 0.75% of nonprofits nationwide. Members of the committee, our team looks forward to your questions. I'll turn it over now to Christy Underwood.
Good morning, Chair Berman and Chair Ashby. My name is Christy Underwood, and I'm the Department of Consumer Affairs appointee for the California Massage Therapy Council. I also happen to be the Executive Officer for the California Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. It is in my time serving on the Board of Directors for CAMTC, I've come to see the significant difference between CAMTC and how a board, like how I spend my regular days, operates. As someone who has dedicated over 30 years of my career to consumer protection, I am most impressed by CMATC's ability to take swift and immediate action to protect consumers. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions as we go through the hearing. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Andrew Garston. I'm on the board of the California Franchise Association for Massage Envy and an active member with the National Association. I've been with the Massage Envy brand for 21 years. And the interesting thing about being with Massage Envy with 1,000 locations across the country and my tenure being as long as anybody that's left in the Massage Envy network is that I get to see the national perspective of massage regulation from massage therapists and business owners. It's a difficult industry to regulate. Licensing probably works with many professions because the first criteria is qualification, and it's almost the last criteria. With massage, because there's so many environmental factors that impact with subterfuge, endangering people with predators, law enforcement, local communities, anti-human trafficking, a licensing board is ill-prepared to deal with all the environment, the community that goes around a profession like massage. And what we have here with the CMTC is unique. The people that are on the board are all here to solve problems and to make sure that we are serving the public as well as possible and that the massage therapists that work in our industry are given the best chance to be the professionals that they want to be.
Good morning, Chairman Berman, Chairwoman Ashby, members of the committee. My name is Amos Netanel, and I'm honored to be here before the Joint Legislative Sunset Committee representing CAMTC. For the past 40 years, I've worked closely with members of the Senate and Assembly and their staff for statewide regulation of massage therapy. Those efforts resulted in the authorization of CAMTC as a statewide oversight body for massage therapists and massage education programs. Today, there are more than 50,000 certified massage professionals in California. As a private, nonprofit, public benefit corporation, CAMTC embodies an extraordinary, efficient, and effective public-private partnership. CAMTC is a self-sufficient entity that has never received any money from the state. We work closely with local governments to advance safe therapeutic massage in our communities. We are proud of the way CAMTC have helped elevate the massage profession and the extraordinary work of certified massage professionals as independent providers, business owners, and staff in medical facilities and spas. Massage therapy is allowing Californians to live healthier and more fulfilling lives. Our mission is to protect the public. We are proud of our record of working closely with local governments and anti-human trafficking groups to fulfill that mission. I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Allison Siegel. I am Special Counsel to the California Massage Therapy Council, and I'm here to help answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for your presentation. I first want to acknowledge that the Joint Sunset Review of the California Massage Therapy Council was moved up a year earlier than originally planned, and I thank the Council for its work to help us conduct the review on this new timeline. The reason for this update, this new date, or the date change, was concerns that I and others shared that the council's practice in 2022 was to get through its sunset review and then immediately engage in questionable actions that I think significantly lacked transparency once it was no longer under scrutiny. I've been troubled by some of what we've seen from the council and its board of directors over the past 3 years, and I look forward to a productive discussion about how to address those issues beyond the scope of sunset this year. And with that, I want to open it up to colleagues for any questions or comments that they have. Senator Archuleta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Would you elaborate a little bit between your certification versus licensing and the timeline to be truly that professional that you represent?
Every year, the chairs of every statewide massage regulatory board meet to share and compare best practices for a couple of days. I've attended 12 of these annual meetings, and every year my counterparts, which are chairs of 45 licensing boards, tell me about how long it takes and how many taxpayer dollars their DAs and AGs spend to get offending license holders to stop doing massage. They tell me about wait times on their phones and emails, and they tell me that they have zero interaction with law enforcement, city councils, spa associations, and their own legislatures. And in every case, they are blown away by the contrast between their systems model and CMTC's. To put it simply, we're the envy of our counterparts nationwide. And on behalf of my profession and the public it serves, I implore you to continue CMTC beyond this sunset.
Sure. My question is, someone applying, starting the profession, from the time they start, the time they get either certified or licensed, what is that time frame with background, education, whatever they may have to do to finally practice?
When we have a complete application, it's usually fewer than 8 days between that complete application and a certificate going out in the mail.
Okay. Thank you.
Assemblymember Wynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just a follow-up question to that. If an individual is denied certification, what is the review process or the appeal process?
I'm going to ask our special counsel to address that.
Sure. So if an individual is denied certification, once they've been denied, they can seek review in Superior Court by bringing a petition for writ of mandate.
I'm sorry, one more question. So what would be some of the reasons why you would deny their certification?
Sure. So the Business and Professions Code lays out kind of a laundry list of various reasons for denial. Some of those reasons are things like related criminal convictions, things like sexual assault or rape or things of that nature might be related, crimes of violence. But that's really a small percentage of what CMTC does. The vast majority of action that it takes is based on conduct-based violations. And by that, what I mean by that is in their law, they have the ability to take action if someone engages in unprofessional conduct. And there's another little laundry list of various types of unprofessional conduct. One thing could be engaging in essentially a sex act while performing massage, either on the premises of a massage establishment or another location, for example, in a hotel. When this organization was initially authorized, Senate Bill 731 had language in there that talked about not wanting massage to be used as a subterfuge for prostitution. And that was in the beginning language. And so there are provisions that allow CMTC to take actions for that type of conduct. It also regularly takes actions for things that are sexual assaults. So if a massage client is sexually assaulted by the certificate holder or applicant, it can take action. It can also take action for other things that are a little more minor. There are some dressing provisions. So if they're dressing in a way where genitals might be exposed, that would be something they could take action on. And again, unprofessional conduct covers a broad area. So there are, if they're massaging the breasts of a certificate holder, the female breast of of a client, a certificate holder, or an applicant could be denied or disciplined. And those are, that's some of the various reasons that they would take action.
But those would be just a renewal, right? Or is
No, no. The way the law is set up, both denial and discipline, it's exactly the same process, exactly the same reasons. So that's what the law specifies.
and this would be during the time that they're seeking the certification. They complete their education, their schooling, and whatnot, right?
No, the conduct could have taken place in the past. So, for example, someone might have a conviction for something like rape, and yet they might go get the schooling and then seek certification. And that the fact that they have that conviction is something that the council could use to take denial or disciplinary action.
But if that is a reason why they wouldn't be able to get the licensing or certification, the school should know that and shouldn't allow the individual to go through it, because they should let them know, right, that you have this, so you, or is that?
And let me be clear, the fact that someone has a criminal conviction does not mean that they will not be certified. CMTC has something called Criteria for Proof of Rehabilitation, and it's a document that goes through all of the different reasons and different things that they look at to see if someone is rehabilitated. For example, CMTC has certified individuals with prostitution convictions. And one of the very compelling things that they've seen and that we've seen in the denial process, proposed denial process, is a very compelling letter from an individual who was previously a drug addict and basically said, I would do anything for drugs, including prostitution. This individual had prostitution convictions, but those convictions were not in the last 2 years. They were, before that, and they had very compelling evidence that they were no longer engaging in that conduct. So by using its criteria for proof of rehabilitation, the council went through and looked at those factors and determined that this individual was qualified for certification, even though they did have that conviction. So the mere fact of the conviction doesn't mean that they're not qualified.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to go to Assemblymember Macedo, and then I'll come back to Senator Archuleta.
Hello. So I do have a couple of questions. So just so I'm clear, you guys are a voluntary certification. So you can be a massage therapist in the state of California and not have this certification. So what incentive is there to be certified by your board?
So what the legislature decided to do is to create an option for people to be certified. As it turned out, most of the cities and counties in California opt into requiring people who want to work at the local communities to be certified. So that's exactly the reason why CMTC in the past 15 years have processed more than 350,000 applications. It is something that allows certificate holders to work anywhere in the state. And if you are not certified, you have to obtain individual permit for every city and county where you work. So it's very much in demand.
So the council still believes the voluntary model is the best model to follow for this process?
Absolutely. We believe that local government play a very important role, and local communities should have a say in the way they want to implement those rules in their local communities. And the reality, it has worked. It worked very well.
Okay, my next question is, how has the council addressed issues of human trafficking while also making sure, you have legitimate operators, that you're not overburdening them? Like, where have you struck that balance to protect the people that are massage therapists, use massage therapists, and things of that nature?
Well, as a person who personally entered the field of massage 45 years ago, I can definitely relate to that, because prior to CMTC, the local regulations were very onerous. We had to be subjected to VD tests. And when I wanted to open my first office, I had to go to conditional use permit that cost tens of thousands of dollars. So we're very familiar with what was on the books before, which were rules and regulations that really treated the massage as adult entertainment. All of that is gone now since CMTC was created. In California, massage therapists are treated and considered to be healthcare providers. Actually, during the pandemics, the California Department of Public Health issued a statement that they deem certified massage therapists to be alternative medical providers, practitioners. So what we do is work very closely with cities. An example of a city we worked with recently is Santa Rosa, in updating the ordinance in such a way that they don't end up throwing the baby with the bathwater, okay? Because you cannot protect the public by punishing legitimate massage therapists. It goes hand in hand. So we make sure that the rules and regulations that they put on the books are in compliance with state law that specifically say they cannot treat massage as adult entertainment.
Have you guys engaged with law enforcement or local law enforcement, statewide law enforcement, of how you can kind of be the stewards to make sure that the bad actors are kept out?
That's a wonderful question. Thank you for asking. Law enforcement is part of CAMTC. The California Police Chief Association has a board member on CAMTC board. CAMTC train law enforcement. We have a director of law enforcement relations that what he does, he goes up and down the state and train thousands of law enforcement officers. Also deputy DAs, sheriffs, FBI agents. So we work hand in gloves with law enforcement on a daily basis.
Okay. I do have a question, and just so I'm understanding, that you guys have review hearings using hearing officers for massage schools, correct?
I'm sorry, let me ask again, can you clarify the question?
So you guys review, like if there's an unapproved massage school, you guys review those appeals, correct?
So the way it works is CMTC does have hearing officers. Mm-hmm. Those hearing officers do review matters related to denial or discipline of a school. And discipline includes things like revocation of a school approval.
And do you think that that satisfies the due process owed to them?
Absolutely. So as an initial matter, we hear these matters very infrequently. So we currently have a matter that was just heard a week or two ago. But prior to that, the last matter that was heard in 2018 or 2019. So it happens very infrequently. In terms of the hearing officers, CMTC is able to get very, very highly qualified hearing officers for schools. Part of the reason is because it happens so infrequently. So they come in as CMTC employees, but they come in on an as-needed hourly basis. So for example, for the recent hearing that we had, the school hearing officers, one of them is a doctor of osteopathy. She's in charge of an online program. She's former president of AMTA, which is the American Massage Therapy Association, and NCBTMB, which I don't want to get it wrong, but it's National Certification, I think, Board of Massage and Bodywork.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I jumbled that one a little bit. But anyway, these people come, we make sure, first of all, they are highly qualified. It's not just someone we get off the street. So that's one individual. The other individual, we had two more. One was the former executive director of the Nevada State Massage Therapy Board, who is also a practicing massage therapist. And the third is a very highly decorated massage school owner who still teaches massage, owns the school, and also is involved in accreditation of massage schools and that review for the accreditation. So we reach out, we make sure that for these officers, it's important that they not have actual bias. And one of the things that's defined as actual bias is that they have a pecuniary interest in the issue they're reviewing. For all of these individuals, the one that owns a massage school, she's out of state, she's in Maine. So we try to get people who are not California massage school owners because they're hearing school issues in California. And while, depending on where the school is located, we don't believe it would be an actual matter of bias, we don't want there to be a perception of bias because we understand that's really important as well. So, so this individual is out of state. And then we also make sure that there is no relationship or personal relationship between the hearing officers who are hearing the matter and the individuals who are having their matter heard. Because again, that's an area where you might have an idea of an actual bias. One of the other things that's really important is to make sure that hearing officers are not initial fact finders. They are not the ones who initially investigate or look at a matter and make a recommendation as to what should be done, because that can also be perceived or seen as an area where they would be biased. So the hearing officers are not involved in any of that type of activity. They are segregated. They're under the legal department. They are not under the departments. For schools, ESD, the Educational Standards Department, is the one that brings the letter proposing to take action against the school. The hearing officers are not part of that department. And given the fact that CAMTC is, it's a virtual environment, everyone works from their own locations. There's not, an office where everyone gets together at the water cooler or anything like that. They're segregated. They have, their contact is with myself as special counsel and senior staff counsel and some of the paralegals, but that's it. They do not have contact with the initial people who were the fact finders who would review a school and find the issues that might lead to disciplinary action.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Assemblymember. Senator Archuleta.
Yes, I think we have a common denominator here. We're trying to raise the level of professionalism in your industry. And I think that's very important. Now, is there anything that you can do or we should do? It'd be nice to drive by and see massage therapy, and there's a sign in the window, certified licensed therapist. Wow. Then the community, as a mayor, former mayor of a city, former law enforcement, I would like to take my kids that were playing Little League Baseball or, later on in college to, get a good massage before that game or whatever it might be. And to be able to see something on the window, licensed certified therapist, I think would make me as a consumer feel better, the community feel better. Have you thought of something like that, or is that something that I'm missing and it's in play already, or is it not?
So state law does require certified massage therapists to post in a visible place their certification of CAMTC to make it visible.
Well, that might be inside. I'm talking on the window because, again, perception versus fact. Perception is always not as professional as you should be. Not you, not the board, but those bad apples that will open up and stay in business for 6 months and close the doors and off they go to the next city. So for the profession, would you recommend that we should implement something like that, that it's got to be posted so the consumer can feel confident they're going to walk in and not find anything that would be ashamed of?
Of course. So we'll be happy to sit down with the committee and discuss different options. Anything that increase public confidence in professional massage therapists, certified massage therapists, we will fully support.
I think it's sorely needed. And as the board members here, Mr. Chair, and my co-chair, I think that would be something that'd be extremely important. And I think I'm going to look into that, and I would appreciate your input so we can eliminate the bad apples and bring forward the good apples so all of us in the community, and also some of the regulations that you'd like to implement, that we can in turn make that into a bill that makes it tougher to open up a practice, as you mentioned, for 40 years, open up a practice that is not going to be part of the Chamber of Commerce, open up a practice that is not going to be looked at as part of the community. So let's work together in raising that bar.
Looking forward to it, Senator.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. Please, Assemblymember Wynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So back to the original question I asked about certification, licensure. You'd mentioned that there may be some people who have a criminal record that may or may not, depending on what the situation is. How do we determine if there was any type of biases or not based, I mean, I guess who overlooks that area, right? So who says, because of this individual, there may be two individuals with the same criminal record, but for whatever reason, you gave a pass to this one and not that one. And then who oversees that whole entire area to ensure that there's no biases and unequal treatment in providing approval?
Sure. So CMTC has a number of different departments that deal with denial and disciplinary matters. There is a supervisor, and the supervisor supervises two different departments. It's investigations and what we call BRD, which is background review. So essentially, if someone has an issue, that information comes in various different ways. It comes in maybe if they have an application that they're submitting, either a new one or an application for recertification. We get subsequent arrest notices, so that might come in. We might get a report from law enforcement. Something might come in through the complaint link. There's all kinds of avenues, and they essentially all come together, and they go to the supervisor for the background review and investigations department, and she reviews. It's one person. She reviews what everything is, and she determines if it's something related to a sexual assault. That goes to the investigations department because the investigations is dedicated to dealing with sexual assaults. One of the things that CMTC does is they have a process by which a victim of sexual assault can submit a declaration drafted under penalty of perjury, and CMTC may use that to propose to take action against a certificate holder or an applicant. So if it's a sexual assault, it goes to investigations to get investigated. And so they work with law enforcement, they work with the victim, they might interview a manager at a massage establishment. They work their cases. The two that we currently have, and what is always our preference is, and I think has always been what we've had for the investigators, are individuals that are former law enforcement who have worked, they call it the sex desk. So they've worked on sexual assaults and sexual crimes. So they are highly trained. They have a very significant background. These individuals are trained by the attorneys, myself and senior staff attorney, about CMTC's legal standards. So CMTC's legal standard is a preponderance of the evidence, which is it more likely than not. We kind of talk about it as 51%. And they are guided by the procedures that talk about the basis for taking action. They are guided by the criteria for proof of rehabilitation, which again is a written document that talks about all of the things to take into account, like number of convictions, how old the convictions are, likewise number of declarations. For example, sometimes we might get a declaration from one victim, we might get a declaration from multiple victims. So they look at all of that evidence, they take everything in, they reach out to the certificate holder or applicant and they request information from them. So they contact them, and then they take all of that information in, and then they make a recommendation as to what they think should happen. There are also disciplinary guidelines, because we want to ensure that any discipline that is imposed, no matter who it is and when that discipline is imposed, is going to be standardized. So everyone in the same situation is going to be proposed to be having the same type of discipline or denial or revocation or proposed suspension, depending on whether they're an applicant or certificate holder. So they make that recommendation. That recommendation goes before BRD, and it's a little, I know it's a little confusing sometimes because we refer to BRD as doing two different tasks. There are some individuals there who are the reviewers of things that are not sexual assaults, but things like criminal convictions or basic conduct-based violations, or things like they forgot to notify us or failed to notify CMTC about a recent arrest or conviction, things of that nature. So they're looking at that, and then it gets reviewed at what we call a final BRD meeting. And so the individuals who are involved in reviewing or investigating the matter are not involved in making a decision of whether the individual before them should be either denied, proposed to be denied, or whether they should be proposed to be revoked or have some kind of disciplinary action taken against their certificate. So they make that, this is the first level, or kind of like the investigators / reviewers, goes to BRD for a final meeting. They make a proposed decision. That goes out to the staff councils and to the attorneys. The attorneys review at that point, kind of much like the DAs might review something that comes from law enforcement, and they say either we think you have sufficient evidence here, or we think you don't. If they believe that there isn't, they send it back down and say, go investigate, continue investigation. There's more that's needed here, or they say, okay, it's free to move forward. In that case, a letter is drafted and sent to the individual. The letter notifies the individual of the proposed decision. And at this point, it's just proposed, it's not final. So the letter goes out, and the letter very clearly articulates the legal and factual basis for the proposed action to be taken against the individual. It identifies all the provisions of CAMTC's law and procedures that are believed to have been violated. It talks about the evidence and the evidence that supports that. And that goes out to the individual. The individual gets that letter. There are specified timelines. They receive the letter. They have the absolute ability to oppose it. And so we're making sure that they're giving notice and opportunity to be heard. We believe it's very important. And there's a timeline on that. Letters are generally sent about 30 days before we schedule a hearing date in the letter. The individual can oppose it. They are not limited in what they can do in opposition. They can have attorneys, and often do. They can have their attorneys write briefs, which we often see. They can submit whatever evidence they'd like in opposition, and they can have a full and complete record. We don't say, like if I'm in court, I might have a 15-page limit. We don't do that. We sometimes get 50-page briefs from individuals and hundreds of pages of documents in opposition. And then that individual is free to request an oral hearing or a consideration of a written statement. If they do that, then they move forward, and that oral hearing or consideration of just documents essentially done on the papers happens. That occurs before dedicated hearing officers. So CMTC has kind of two batches of hearing officers. They have those who specialize in schools and those who hear individual certification matters. All of the individuals that hear the individual certification matters have backgrounds in massage. They've been teachers. They're not. They're generally not just a.
So just one question real quick.
Sure.
You had said that there's one individual that looks at all of these applicants and gets it over to, you mentioned BRD, right?
What she's doing, she's the director of BRD and investigations. And what she's doing is just assigning, this gets assigned because it's a sexual assault to investigations, or it gets assigned to BRD for review.
Is there a criteria that she takes to say whether or not it gets assigned or not? Because you said she's the one person that signs off on it. Whether she puts it through the review or not, or...
And let me say, she doesn't sign off on it. She's not rendering any kind of a substantive opinion. All she's doing is assigning workload. So she's saying it's a sexual assault. It goes to the investigators, essentially. It's a matter that's not, it goes to the BRD reviewers. So she's not making a judgment call. So there is sometimes for things that we call in-house clearance, there might be very simple things that we do have 2 BRD members that are assigned that review those very simple things. And that is a little kind of offshoot of the process where they review things like, for example, people might have a conviction, like one of the recent things, someone had a conviction because they were trespassing because they were trying to save a tree from being cut down. So I forget the penal code section, but for those types of matters, the 2 BRD individuals that hear the matter together is the in-house clearance process, and they'll decide on those very minor, not related things. Well, that just gets thrown back out. That individual goes forward with certification. For the other things where there's the potential that there's a substantive issue, it does get assigned by the director. But the individuals reviewing or investigating are the ones who come up with a recommendation. The recommendation might be, there's nothing here. We don't believe there's been a violation of the law or procedures. This person can get cleared. And then that goes back in front of the BRD final review meeting where they look at that and say yes or no.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Assemblymember Closa.
Thank you, Chair Berman. Thank you to the panelists. I'm not going to ask any questions right now, other than obviously there's a lot of interest, in your work in CMTC's stakeholder engagement, which is what I'm really most interested in, especially as it relates to issues around preventing human trafficking, ensuring that consumers are safe, that people who have the license are safe, and how do we really best promote the industry with best practices that I know you're all working on. So I can follow up with you afterward. I know it's been a long hearing. I just wanted to take a moment of personal privilege to actually welcome a constituent of Assembly District 52, Mr. Garston. Nice to see you here, and thank you for your work in your industry, and look forward to working with you, and we'll follow up directly to get some of the answers and hopefully work on some of the stakeholder engagement that I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Ashby.
Okay, this has been a bit of a lengthy hearing, so I do have a number of questions for you too, but I'm going to ask you to be as succinct and brief as possible, and you can. Of course, I don't want you to cut yourself short, but let's be as brief as possible. So first of all, thank you for being here today, all of you, and for your work. It is a little bit of a different committee in terms of the oversight that you have in the voluntary certification, and so you hear some folks trying to really grapple with that, and I think we all do want to make sure that we're using the board to its best of its ability. So what messaging goes to the students who attend or have completed the education at the programs that the CAMTC has approved? What kind of communication are you having with those students, and how do they know about the hearings that might be available to them, or about becoming certified and demonstrate competency amidst questions about their program?
Well, we have ESD, Educational Standard Division, that has monthly school calls, which it's not only open to all the schools, but to the public. Anybody can call in to these monthly calls.
Right, but so when a school is starting to be in trouble, right, their accreditation or whatever is problematic, what communication do you have with the students at that school to let them know what's happening so that they can continue to pursue your profession at a school that is accredited or does have a better track record?
So when a school is placed under investigation by CMTC, that is noted on its website.
And what outreach do you do to the students at that school? Any?
Well, so remember, CMTC certification is voluntary, so it doesn't have the ability or jurisdiction over individuals until they apply for certification. So they're not, doesn't have the ability to contact students at a school unless they apply for certification.
Right, but if the school has applied for certification and then the school is in trouble, what outreach are you doing to the students?
Again, we have no, CMTC has only jurisdiction over applicants and certificate holders. So we have no way of communicating directly with students at schools because they have not applied with us yet. So we do post it on our website, which is publicly available.
Yeah, I'm sure you can see the problem there. These students are going to be applying for your program at some point if they haven't already partially through, but I went to McGeorge Law School, for example. If they had lost their accreditation, I would expect somebody to let me know partway through my tuition and experience there so that I could switch to a different school. And I think when students head into a school and then that school becomes under question, we ought to do a little bit more for outreach. But you know what, we'll let that sit for a minute.
If I could take a shot at that.
Actually, Mark, is it okay if I just try and very quickly answer? We do believe that's the school's responsibility. The school has the contact information for all of the individuals. The school is aware of the fact they've been placed under investigation. CMTC does not have that contact information until they have applied for certification.
Okay. Did you want to try to answer that as well?
Just to say, thank you for asking, just to say that we don't know about a student's interest in becoming certified until they apply. We don't have access to them when they're still students, or even if they're graduates. They have to approach us. And at that point, then we consider them for certification.
So if a student applies for your certification having come from a problematic school, what happens then?
They should know, because the school is notified when they are students before they graduate. The school is notified that they are under investigation and that they're.
I'm hoping that you're seeing the problem here.
Yeah, and
your solution, hold please. Your solution relies on the school to notify the students that the school is in trouble. If that doesn't happen, then somebody, a Californian here in one of our constituents, will have paid to go to a school that is in trouble with you, and therefore when they apply for their certification with you because they're trying to do the right thing, that may or may not be held against them. So that's the question I'm seeking for clarity. This is just an informational hearing. You'll have another chance to maybe circle back on that later and let me know what you think might be a better pathway forward that doesn't rely on a school that's already shown you that they may or may not be a good actor to then go tell their students, which I'm assuming is the basis for their income and revenue, that perhaps they should choose a different institution to pay their hard-earned dollars to because it might better their chances at a certification later down the road. I'm trying to protect my constituents from going to a school that would not be serving their best interests. So expecting the same school that's already proven itself not to be working towards their best interest to also be the entity to let folks know that they're doing so might not be our best strategy or pathway forward. So maybe that's just something we can think about.
I'm going to say we're in agreement, and we'd love to sit down with you and with the committee and come up with a solution for that because this is definitely an issue.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So here's one also that I'd like to just ask. So this board of directors, which is, and I'm saying this mostly for people who are paying attention. Your board of directors is interestingly comprised. It's full of appointees from the Department of Consumer Affairs, as we heard here today. You have to take on multiple issues here, I see. Congratulations to you. But so let's see. So you have the League of California Cities, the California State Association of Counties, which, by the way, has appointed one of my board of supervisors, the Police Chiefs Association, the California Association of Private Post-Secondary Schools, the Office of Chancellor of Community Colleges, et cetera, et cetera. These become your board. So did the board have the authority to hold the CEO pay steady over the years or decrease the salary? I know that we've had recently a new set salary for your CEO. So what was the board's authority around that salary for increases and decreases? And then let me just finish out here. And how does the board find a comparable CEO salary scale? And have you looked at other certifying bodies for guidance as opposed to member trade associations?
Thank you for that question. I will answer that in this way. I want to speak very directly to the CEO compensation question. Vice Chair Ron Bates and I were directed by the Board of Directors to hire a national company specializing in assessing appropriate salaries for employees by studying those who have similar responsibilities. No one on the board or employed by CAMTC had any previous experience or connection to CBiz, which is the company that was selected, which was brought in to use their expertise and decades of experience in an environment of complete access to CMTC's structure. CBiz decided to whom the CEO of CMTC should be compared. Their findings were made public to every member of the CMTC board, put on the CMTC website for stakeholders and onlookers to review, and their metrics and conclusions were presented in 2022 to an earlier iteration of this committee, testifying at length and with depth of detail to the Joint Legislative Sunset Committee. I'm proud of CMTC's record of transparency, and I'm committed personally and professionally to being absolutely transparent. There have been 2 other subsequent follow-ups of the study, all handled with board scrutiny and released publicly. It has been suggested by some that the comparisons be made to an EO on the Consumer Protection Board. The decision regarding the comparisons as to what other CEOs were relevant are in alignment with the duties and burdens carried by the experts. Ms. Underwood can discuss the vast differences between an EO on a state board and a CEO of a standalone entity charged not only with regulating licensees, but protecting the public and working closely with local policymakers, district attorneys, police chiefs, and the critical associations dedicated to protecting the public. I was curious what the president of my own association, the AMTA, a less complex job with a smaller mission, makes, and I was not surprised to learn that I was close to the same. It was close to the same as the CEO of CAMTC. This is also true of the executive director of the Federation of State Massage Therapy Boards, of which CMTC is a member. Having said this, Mr. Chair and Madam Chair, we want to continue working closely with this committee. Let's sit together and discuss this issue further. We were meticulous in our approach. We are willing to continue to listen to other points of view.
Great. Appreciate the answer there. It seems you anticipated the question, which is good. We've all served on boards where we ask an expert to come in and provide some form of background. That is a practice widely used in local government for hiring. Sometimes it's a search firm. Sometimes it's, like you have stated, somebody who gives you appropriate qualifications or salaries for other people doing the same thing. I think the question here, though, is that ultimately the decision lies with the board. No matter who you bring in or whether you put the analysis online or you make it available to folks, that's a good practice. That's a good transparency practice. But ultimately, your board, which is made up of professionals from all different kinds of associations, is responsible for what that decision comes. Just like on a city council, we are responsible for the salaries of our charter officers. So I would just encourage us to, as we move forward here, have a conversation about whether or not the board's authority is being utilized to the best of its ability to create not just the transparencies, but the right outcomes that your members would like to see. But I appreciate your answer there. All right, what is the number one complaint that the CAMTC receives at this point about massage therapy practitioners?
You know? I think Allison Siegel will know that one.
Yeah, so CMTC is unique because the complaints that we receive through the complaint link are not just from clients or consumers, they're also from law enforcement. So to the extent that there's an issue with a massage establishment where law enforcement goes in and does an undercover operation and we would call just generally unprofessional conduct occurs, a lot of it is prostitution-related activity.
Is that your number one call?
That would be the number one thing that we see because, but I know it's very different than than your state boards and bureaus. Yeah.
So on that point, you've heard already from several members of this joint body about their deep concerns around human sex trafficking and the perception related to your industry. And I think I just want to reiterate that point that it's incredibly important that we do everything we can. As you used the word subterfuge, I think that's the right word. We want to make sure that the industry distances themselves from this and that you continue to address that issue. But it is also one issue that you're facing, so we want to make sure that we're dealing with all the other issues across the board too. It's very interesting that's your number one call for service. I would agree that it may be your number one call for service for the exact reasons that you've stated, that law enforcement and other individuals are the ones making that call or would even know that you exist to call and make that report. Okay. I do think that sometimes certificate holders may have questions for you and have some trouble reaching senior staff. At least this is an issue we have heard about in the past. What do you think would be a good solution to this? How can we move forward and maybe add in this review session an ability for folks to get a hold of senior staff in your organization a little bit more easily?
So CMTC is very proud of the fact that we're actually extremely accessible. Our phone lines are, we typically are able to answer phones without people putting on hold within a matter of like 10 seconds. We retain emails. typically within 1 or 2 hours, and depends on what is needed, that is being escalated up a certain level of the management. Um, we are always there in our open meetings, and if somebody needs to reach senior staff, there is a way to reach us.
Okay, I think there may be a bit of a disconnect on that particular issue between what you are perceiving and what maybe folks that are trying to reach into you guys are experiencing. So just something for us to think about. There are other ways that other boards handle this, and maybe there are some things we can do to fix that piece moving forward so that the expectations are met from the outside folks in the way that you clearly intend for them to be met. I think that there may be a misunderstanding there. Okay. And then this is my final question. How can you improve or enhance your relationships with schools? And how are you communicating with them now with the BPPE? And why are few schools that you have removed approval with still approved by the BPPE? So I guess what I'm looking for here is like, where is this balance? I feel like I'm still sort of stuck on this issue around the expectations of students when they go to these schools and how you all are communicating those issues out.
So, Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer it, but I think it'd probably be better to have a Director of Education Standard Division step in and address that, because that's what
Whoever
it
you
does.
want.
Joe Buff Smith, if you...
You can just use this mic over here if you'd like. It's fine.
Opportunity. So I wanted to quickly circle back to your earlier question as I was sitting out here listening and not able to answer it. And how do we communicate to the students? So actually, in a recent case with a school that came up, we did have that requirement as part of a corrective action where the school needed to inform their students that were enrolled or that were going to enroll. That school filed a lawsuit, and the judge had a temporary order to that prevented that from happening. But that was CMTC's intention, because like you, we were concerned about students being in a school or enrolling in a school and not knowing that school may be in trouble. And
Great.
so,
did you want to answer this current question?
Sure, absolutely. So with the schools, I think over the years, actually, we've in general created a very good relationship. We do have, as was just mentioned, monthly calls with the schools, and that's open to every school as well as the general public where they can call in. We also have a newsletter that goes out after any board meeting where there's been any sort of action that has been taken that would affect schools or massage education. We send out that newsletter, and then of course, because our division works directly with the schools and makes regular site visits, we have personal communication with all of the school owners and administrators that are out there.
All right. Thank you very much for your answers. I appreciate you stepping up.
Sure
And then
thing.
just to all of you today, I know, it's tough. It's a tough committee that you're sitting on. It is an important charge that you have. Obviously, in the California State Legislature, we are trying very hard to help this industry too, and get you in a place where we can remove some of the taint from the past and also protect people in California. We want them to, as Senator Archuleta said, we want them to walk into a massage therapy location and know that it's going to be a clean, safe, healthy setting where they receive whatever therapeutic massage they're seeking to receive that day, and not have to be concerned with what other encounters they might have. And I think we still have work to do in that regard. And I appreciate you being here today and being open to the conversation. I'll hand it back to the chairman.
Thank you, Chair Ashby. So I have a couple of questions as well. The first has to do with fees. And we typically, with every board or council that comes before us, we talk about fees. There hasn't been much of a discussion about fees today. There also wasn't much of a discussion about fees, if any, 3 years ago when the council came before this committee for sunset in 2022. And I think it's important that we walk through that history a little bit. So in March of 2022, CAMTC sent an updated copy of your responses to the background paper, and in that you stated, and I quote, "Unlike boards and bureaus that struggle financially, CAMTC is solvent. It is able to put money aside and keep a more than appropriate level of reserves. CAMTC's fees are appropriately balanced to cover its specific services and provide it with an appropriate level of reserves." So that was in March of 2022. In September of 2022, CAMTC's sunset bill was signed into law, giving you an almost entirely clean 4-year response. The very next month, in October of 2022, CAMTC commissioned a consultant to perform a fee analysis to determine if a fee increase is needed, which you never informed either this committee or the public about, or that you plan to do, or at the time that you did it. The next month, so March of 2022, no discussion of fees. You say you're perfectly solvent. In fact, you insult bureaus and boards and kind of say, even though they struggle financially, we're good. We're good in March of 2022. October of 22, things have changed dramatically, and you commission a fee adjustment study. November of 2022, on Friday, November 25th, which is the day after Thanksgiving, you publish your background materials for your upcoming board meeting, where for the first time the public can see that a fee analysis and CAMTC's proposed budget for 2023 is on the agenda. So the day after Thanksgiving, you publish the background materials for this meeting. The meeting is on Tuesday, November 29th, so 2 days after the Thanksgiving holiday. You have an 8 a.m. meeting in Palm Springs, and I had to go to Palm Springs a couple of weeks ago. Palm Springs is not easy to get to. Not a lot of direct flights from a lot of cities in California. And so you have a meeting at 8 a.m., which is also earlier than your meetings usually are, and have been for the decade before that. The discussion, the presentation of the fee analysis and a potential vote on an increase was originally agendized as item number 19. And so that was the public's impression, was that you were going to be discussing this as agenda item number 19 in that meeting. And then at the very beginning of the meeting, after this meeting started at 8 a.m., the board moved this discussion to the first agenda item, so that members of the public who thought it was going to be agenda number 19, all of a sudden it was agenda number 1. I know there's been a lot of discussion about transparency and how proud the council is of their transparency. To be totally honest, I found this to be terribly untransparent. I was, to be honest, insulted that we had this conversation 3 years ago and fees were never discussed. You said that you were just fine. And then a month after your sunset bill was signed into law, you immediately commissioned a study and then increased it 50%. So I guess my question to you is how can I, as chair of the Assembly Business and Professions Committee, have confidence that you're not going to do the exact same thing this year?
So thank you for your question. This is a concern which was raised in March 2023. And our board chair at the time, the late Dr. Jeff Foreman, responded in a very detailed letter to the committee. Essentially what happened, CAMTC agreed to increase the fee by $50 a year, raising the fee to $300 for every 2 years, which is significantly less than, for example, neighboring state, Nevada. And we also take into consideration the average charge of a single massage in California. We did make every effort to be transparent, but clearly we hear you loud and clear, and we get it, that in this case, it seems like we may have fallen short, and we have worked really hard to learn from it. We have no plans to ask for the legislature to increase the cap. We're right now at the cap, so we have no request from the legislature to increase it, so fees will not increase until such time the legislature decide to increase it.
Thank you for that. And I have the letter right here that was in response to a letter that I sent along with my colleagues, Assemblymembers Wicks, Addis, and then Assemblymember Lowe. And the only thing that I can see as it relates to why the council wasn't upfront and transparent with the committee was this sentence that says, in the past year, California has experienced considerable inflation. And that's true, but my expectation is that if things change with the council and you recognize that things are changing as you're going through sunset, or even when you're not going through sunset, that you notify us and that you be transparent with us. Because this is a sunset hearing, but the conversation continues. It's not like things that happen after today all of a sudden aren't relevant and shouldn't be reported back to us. But I appreciate the recognition that we fell short there and need to do better. I want to follow up on Chair Ashby's comments just about compensation and compensation fee studies. And it's my opinion, just as one assembly member, that it is not reasonable to compare CAMTC to a nonprofit that is funded through voluntary contributions of its members, like a charity or a trade association. CAMTC's revenue is entirely derived from fees charged to individuals and entities it oversees. And as the CEO mentioned, massage therapists in about half the cities in California have no choice to pay those fees if they want to practice their profession. So I don't consider that voluntary. That's a requirement by the local government. So I was surprised and disheartened to learn that after insisting that CAMTC was fully solvent 3 years ago, like I just laid out, CAMTC immediately raised its fees to the max, which I already talked about, and then in addition approved continuous raises for its CEO. And I understand that there are reasons a DCA board is not a perfect comparison, but the mission and funding structure of those entities is far more comparable than a business advocacy group or private membership organization. And so I guess, a question for the board is that why does the council and the board believe that its mission is so different from a board that its staff compensation should be nearly 3 times that of an agency secretary?
The complexity of the function of the senior staff, including the CEO, is so vastly different from the chair of a comparable state license board. The degree of involvement with stakeholders, the networking necessary to achieve our mission, public protection, goes far beyond what the word comparable. It's really hard to find anything comparable to CMTC. There are no other voluntary certification boards in the massage profession in the country. So finding something comparable is a real challenge. The best we can do is to find related nonprofits in related fields, healthcare, wellness care, public service, public benefit, and see how their job functions and compensation compare.
I would thank you for that. I would respectfully disagree with those comparisons, and I wasn't even referencing board directors, but the agency secretary in terms of that person's roles and responsibilities, and how out of kilter the CAMTC CEO's compensation is to the agency secretary for the Department of Consumer Affairs in California, and so. Let's speak to that for a second. I understand that the council's attorneys feel strongly that you are not, and the CEO and I briefly had this conversation the other day, that you are not a quasi-public or quasi-governmental entity, but the legislature's council feels that you are, and recent court rulings have also described you that way. Why is this distinction important to the council, and why do you not believe that the legislature intended for you to serve a public function when it authorized you?
Sure.
Go ahead, Alan.
So in the report, a section was cited in the government code, and that government code section states that if the organization is expressly created by the legislature for administration of a state function. And CMTC was not so. CMTC was, the name of the organization didn't even exist. In the first law in SB 731, it said I think it was MTO, Massage Therapy Organization. And CMTC would not be here except for the initiative of private individuals who went out and created the organization. They got, they incorporated it, they got private funding, they hired an attorney, and they created the organization. So it was not expressly created by statute. So that's the first piece of it. And the reason it matters is because there are different, it's just a different legal designation, and there's different legal obligations for organizations that are quasi-governmental versus those that are not. And CMTC it's just a nonprofit 501c3 corporation. So it's a public benefit nonprofit corporation with tax exempt status.
Thank you for that answer. I think there's some debate about that, and maybe that's a further conversation that we need to have. Not only from the legislature's council, but also from a recent court decision that just came out last week. So I think maybe that's something that needs some tightening up and some clearing up. There's been a great deal of debate about, since CAMTC there's been a great deal of debate since CAMTC was first created about whether mandatory licensure by a board is more appropriate than voluntary certification by a council for massage therapists. I understand that there are advantages to certifications and downsides to licensure that the council has very clearly articulated. But as the CEO mentioned, considering that about half of cities require certification, meaning it's not actually voluntary in large parts of the state, do you believe there's a meaningful difference between licensure and certification for therapists who live in those jurisdictions where it's a requirement? It is not voluntary. And have you given any thought to whether we should be treating oversight of massage professionals who are locally required to be certified differently from those truly volunteering to be certified?
This is a very complex issue, so I appreciate you bringing it up, and I'm sure this conversation will continue beyond today. With being in this industry for 45 years, actually starting to be involved in regulation of massage in 1985, when I first worked with the city of Santa Monica and helping them rewrite the ordinance, and also working with many of my colleagues all over the nation, this conversation is very important. So let me give you my take on it. I'm going to start with the bottom line. And that is, some people believe that it should be a mandatory government body doing it. Some people think that, it shouldn't be. It'll be like the way it is structured with CAMTC. I really think what we have here with CAMTC is all of the good and none of the bad of either functions. In other words, what we have here, this kind of a hybrid of a governmental, all of the good of governmental functions, including transparency and things like that, and the agility of a private corporation to move fast to protect the public. So we feel that what we have here works. It looks like from the past 16 years, we were able to elevate the profession and go after the bad apples that ruin the reputation of the profession and put the public's safety at risk. And we believe what we have right now works.
Thank you. A couple more questions. You mentioned transparency, and transparency has been mentioned a couple of times today. How does the type of transparency that you provide to the public compare to requirements of state agencies under the Public Records Act? And what would subjecting you to those requirements change about how you currently operate?
So CMTC very regularly shares information with law enforcement and law and code enforcement, and also local government agencies that regulate massage. And so that information is shared in accordance with the Business and Professions Code, and that provides information needed so that everyone can perform their jobs and do their duties. CMTC also shares information pursuant to document subpoenas when the information is needed for pending litigation and things of that nature. CMTC is really unique in that the information that it has oftentimes deal with very highly sensitive information of victims of sexual assault or individuals engaged in prostitution-related activity. So in terms of the information that it has declarations. The declarations detail very specifically sexual assaults that occur. Victims are identified. Multiple victims are sometimes identified. We also have things like sometimes people submit evidence in relation to their hearings. We will have videos where individuals are engaging in sex acts for money. We had one very interesting case where we had a scorned boyfriend who submitted some naked pictures of a certificate holder trying to take action against them. We have very, very highly sensitive information given what CMTC does, because the process is based in large part on documentary evidence and on declarations. And so one of the powers of CMTC is we have victims that are willing to come to CMTC, talk about very painful things of, emotionally painful physical assaults, and that information is in our declarations. And we are very concerned that should we have to share that information publicly, that's going to put a chilling effect on victims coming to us and getting the justice that they're looking for through CAMTC. I think if anyone's heard of cases where victims are in many cases not willing to go through the criminal process, it's a very difficult process for them.
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
that's
I
one of the
appreciate.
keys here. That's one of our keys. The other is, of course, administration and cost. If you were to impose the PRA on CMTC, that just increases the cost. That's going to be an individual or two's job to be responding to those requests and reviewing documents as well. But really, the top of it is we don't want to chill victim cooperation.
Yeah.
We feel like we've made huge strides in this area.
I agree with that point completely, but I also want to note that the California Public Records Act exempts a lot of that information that you were talking about. There are already exemptions for personal privacy. There are already exemptions for law enforcement and investigatory records. So I think this is...
But we're not law enforcement.
Yeah, well...
That's the difficulty. CMTC is not specifically named in those categories.
I bet there... Let's have that conversation about different opportunities that there might be to create some more transparency given the unique model that CMTC is.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
One last question that I'm sure will come up from members of the public has to do with A2, the massage therapy school A2Z. And I received an email from a Senate colleague of mine this morning, Senator Stern, who is very frustrated and angry with CAMTC, and this has to do with a court case that's been going on, a judgment that just came out March 19th. So what was that, 4 or 5 days ago? That I believe found CAMTC in contempt of the court's order, and I just referencing Senator Stern's email from this morning, and I'm sure he'll be reaching out to you all directly. But he, I don't know what to say exactly. I don't want to quote his email to me directly, but he's pissed. He's very pissed at CAMTC and the feeling that CAMTC is not following the judge's orders when it comes to this case that has been brought by A2Z Health.net in regards to interactions that they've been having with CAMTC. So I guess maybe this is just more of a precursor that Senator Stern will probably be reaching out, that there are significant concerns that CAMTC has not been following the judge's orders in this case. Open to any comments, but it sounds like an issue that Senator Stern will be bringing to you directly.
Sure. And so we understand that there have been decisions in this matter. I want to say, first of all, the decisions have not been final, as in there is not an order from the court that the order will be appealed. We do have previous decisions that have been appealed, as is CMTC's legal right, and that's under the direction of trial counsel. That is not myself. I am not trial counsel in this matter. And I will say that CMTC and trial counsel do not believe that the court has made legal and factual decisions that were appropriate or correct. So those decisions have been appealed, and that's essentially the state of the matter. In relation to the students, I'm sure that that's an issue, if you'd like me to address that.
Sure.
And I just, basically I want to say that this current issue in relation to the students, this is a situation of the school's own making. CMTC has been trying and was initially interviewing students and getting information from them. But the question of fraud remains, and there has been an overwhelming question of fraud here. CMTC sent a letter on January 23rd to the school proposing to revoke its school approvals. And it sent that letter based on the fact that it found that the school, and this is again a proposed revocation, that the school was, has violated School Procedure 6A, failing to meet or maintain requirements for approval set forth in the procedures. 6A1, selling or offering to sell transcripts, or providing or offering to provide transcripts without requiring attendance or full attendance at the school. 6A2, failing to require students to attend all of the classes listed on the transcript. 6A3, failure to require students to attend all of the hours listed on the transcript. 6A4, engaging in fraudulent practices, including but not limited to the creation of false documents to aid or abet students seeking CMTC certification, aiding or abetting students to use false documents and or to present false testimony in CMTC hearings, aiding or abetting students in engaging in fraudulent practices with respect to CMTC hearings, making false claims, or otherwise engaging in fraudulent practices, failure to create, record, or maintain accurate records, including but not limited to student attendance records and student transcripts, failure to meet the requirements for approval as defined in Business and Professions Code 4601A, engaging in or has engaged in unprofessional business practices by an owner, faculty member, or other member of the school's staff, including but not limiting to visiting instructors, has engaged in or is engaging in unprofessional business practices. Section 6C, procuring or attempting to procure school approval by fraud, misrepresentation, or mistake.
I think you can wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will stop here.
Yeah.
But there are very serious allegations of fraud here. This is not a minor record-keeping matter. This is a serious issue here. And CMTC is complying with the advice of its counsel.
Thank you for that. I just want to read a section of the order from the judge on March 19th that says, what began as an informal investigation by the council into A2Z's teaching of students for whom English was a second language, apparently based on the concern that the students could not be learning and understanding what they were taught, shifted into a requirement that all A2Z students pass education hearings and or informal interviews, and in order for A2Z to give notice to current and prospective students that this special requirement was imposed only to A2Z. CAMTC, the council, took the position that since these actions were merely, quote, informal, A2Z was not entitled to any notice or right to be heard. That's very disconcerting for me and for this committee. I won't read the rest of the judge's order, but this is something that's very firmly on our radar right now, and just want to flag that for the council. Let me see if I have any additional questions. I think that pretty well covers it. We're going to open it up to members of the public who want to come and speak. I do want to, just give me 1 second. I want to give District Attorney Jeff Rosen a chance to come and speak for 2 minutes, and then so that he can get back to my county, Santa Clara County, to be the district attorney. And then we're going to continue going on. Thank you.
Chairwoman Ashby, Chairman Berman, and members of the committees. I'm Jeff Rosen, the District Attorney of Santa Clara County. the largest county and the largest DA's office north of Los Angeles. I believe that CMTC is so important to the responsible handling of massage therapy in California that I drove from my office this morning to offer my 2 cents in 2 minutes at this hearing. So that's a cent a minute, just for those keeping track. 1, CMTC is more effective than any licensing board could possibly be under the Department of Consumer Affairs. As DA, I have found licensing boards to be slower, more ponderous, and less effective than CMTC at weeding out bad, illegal, and dangerous actors that prey upon our community. 2, the district attorney's office and many police departments in my county, including Palo Alto, Mountain View, Campbell, and San Jose, and grassroots community organizations work closely with CMTC to stop human trafficking. My senior sexual assault and human trafficking prosecutor, who sits with me in executive management meetings weekly, sits on the board of CMTC. Number 3, CMTC's strong partnerships with law enforcement and my office has allowed us to respond quickly, fairly, and without ambiguity to illicit behavior in the massage therapy industry. For example, recently a massage therapist in Palo Alto sexually assaulted a woman, digitally penetrated her anus and vagina. She reported these crimes to the police. My office filed criminal charges and informed CMTC. Less than a day later, CMTC pulled his certificate and this illicit massage parlor closed. CMT's responsiveness, quick action, and collaboration with the Palo Alto Police Department and the DA's office stopped the sexual victimization of women at this establishment. That is a big win for all of us. 4, CMTC allows due process while still retaining the nimbleness of enforcement that is vital to closing illicit massage parlors that are breeding grounds for sexual assault and human trafficking. Finally, I'm hard-pressed to think of what is working more effectively and collaboratively with local entities and stakeholders than CMTC, and at no cost to taxpayers. CMTC is a success story for California that I strongly support. Thank you.
Hello. Dear Senators and Assembly members, my name is Ben Drillings. I have been chiropractor for 35 years and owner of A to Z Health, family of massage school for 27 years. My career has been dedicated advancing massage therapy. I have served the board of CMTC for 6 years and have led the California Massage School Association since 2008. Today I come to you with an urgent issue. CMTC is deliberately disregarding the laws and standards that you have worked hard to put in place. Instead of upholding the integrity of the profession, they act as if they are above oversight, ignoring legislative mandates and court orders, including 2 preliminary injunctions in our case and a 3rd in related case of AJ Sokal. Despite this, they continue to operate with impunity, and now the court has scheduled a contempt proceeding against CMTC for April 25 in Sacramento. Please be there. Due to their defiance, this unjust behavior is hurting institutions like mine and blocking qualified massage graduates from pursuing their careers. CMTC hides behind a false image of compliance while actively avoiding transparency and refusing to uphold the true intent of the law. This is why we urgently need a state-run licensing board, one that holds massage therapy to the same reputable standards as other professions. I urge you to take decisive action. CMTC obstruction must be replaced with a system that truly respects the rule of law and serves the public good. I have brought you a package of judicial decision and evidence that clearly illustrate those violations. I strongly urge you to review these documents carefully before considering any extension for CMTC. Thank you for your time and commitment for this crucial issue. We're not asking for massage license. We're not begging for massage licensing. We're demanding that will be massage license here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And one thing,
No,
for
sir.
Ellison,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your time, sir. Thank you very much. Your time is up. I need to be as fair as possible to the other 30 people behind you. And a little reminder: the microphone amplifies your voice. So, can we? The mic is now broken. There we go. We're back. We're not. We are.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
No problem.
Honorable Senators and Assembly members, for 3 decades, A to Z has dedicated itself to providing quality education and shaping the futures of aspiring massage therapies. Despite the Sacramento court ordering CMTC to enter investigation into A to Z and certify all of our graduates, we have been placed yet again under investigation. CMTC is acting as if they are above the law, continuing the obsessive witch hunt against us. We were never under investigation until we became vocal for pushing for state licensing and transparency. Now, because we dare to challenge them, we are being punished. I have worked closely with an inspector of CMTC for years. In 2022 alone, we had 7 unannounced visits, 5 of which were conducted by Jeff Simonsek, who reported back to his supervisor that our operations were legitimate, classes conducted in English, students actively participating, knowledgeable teachers, and in his final visit, no red flags. This is all under a sworn deposition. Yet, despite this, a decision was made at the executive level right there to put our school under investigation. CMTC failed 160 of our graduates, mostly ESL students, who were subject to interview by a single hearing officer. Under sworn deposition, she testified that she did not use a template, a rubric, or any sort of mechanism or criteria to pass or fail students. Her decisions were based on her personal experience. When our graduates asked for an explanation why they failed, no answer were given. CMTC did not even keep recording or transcript of those hearings. There is not a crumb of fraud in our school. Give us one name of fraud. Nothing. We have thousands of graduates who are living proof of the integrity of our work.
Thank you very much.
But we dare to challenge the
if you could
system,
wrap up, that would be great.
and now we are facing what.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. And if folks want to align themselves with the comments that have been made prior, feel free to do that as well. Go ahead.
My name is Lee Ehrman. I've been resided in Assembly Member Berman's district since 1982. I earned a Stanford computer science PhD from Stanford in computer science in the 70s. In the 90s, I made a transition from high tech to high touch by becoming a massage therapist. I've been primarily working in hospitals, including Stanford Hospital since '94, Packard Children's Hospital 2007 to 2020, and the Palo Alto VA inpatient hospice from 2000 to 2017. Now at age 80, I continue to love my ongoing profession. I've been a certified massage therapist through the CMTC since 2010. Before the CMTC, the massage profession in California faced severe challenges, including prostitution and poorly trained practitioners from diploma mill schools. These led to major problems for local governments and law enforcement. In the 90s, I worked with the Palo Alto City Council and Police Department trying to deal with these problems. However, they had no way really of dealing with them. Excuse me, I'm very nervous talking to this group. I hope you'll hear my words. Thank you. To deal with these problems, which included so-called massage parlors popping up along El Camino Real constantly, and there was nothing that the city or the police could do. However, the city had no way of dealing with them. The creation of the CAMTC effectively addressed these problems, receiving praise from local officials throughout the state, as well as from massage professionals. All of this has been provided at no cost to any governmental agencies and a modest cost to the massage professionals, a cost we are very happy to pay.
Please wrap up.
I firmly believe the recognition of the CMTC should be due for at least 4 years, and that licensure pushed by out-of-state entities would undo the current excellent situation.
Thank you.
Why break what is not broken?
Thank you very much. And a reminder for folks, you can also submit additional comments to the committee in writing if you don't get to everything you wanted to say here today. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Sharon Deneau. I'm a human rights attorney in Santa Clara County. I have over 15 years of experience fighting human trafficking here and abroad. We do know of calls coming into the National Human Trafficking Resource Center that calls related to illicit massage establishments continue to be some of the highest, especially in California. We also know that local police departments receive numerous complaints about illicit massage establishments. What we know about illicit massage establishments is that they disproportionately impact Asian women. They're often monolingual. They often come here on fraudulent pretenses for a better life. They're not just exploited for sex. They can also be exploited for labor, and there's often intersections with sexual assault. It's absolutely crucial that we have a community-driven response to be able to combat such types of sensitive forms of trafficking, but also have a systems-based approach. CAMTC is able to do that. They're able to work with local jurisdictions to create model ordinances that prevent, deter, and shut down IMEs. They work with local agencies to increase access to services for potential victims and hold exploiters accountable. They've shut down fraudulent massage schools, which are pipelines for exploitation, and they've created close relationships with agencies throughout the state. We regularly engage with CMTC at our coalition meetings with numerous service providers. I don't need to elaborate on the extent of fear among foreign-born persons right now. They don't want to engage with government bodies, and we need to ensure we're prioritizing access for help, not restricting it. CAMTC is the best group known to be able to help us increase access to potential victims. Please do not sunset CMTC. We need to maintain this close communication with these vulnerable victims. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm the director of the San Francisco Cooperative Against Human Trafficking with a long, over 16 years background in prosecution and criminal oversight in Europe. And I represent also NCJW here. And the San Francisco Cooperative Against Human Trafficking is a coalition of over 70 agencies in law enforcement and government, and the nonprofit organizations working together with these agencies against human trafficking and supporting the survivors. So this gives me a courage to share with you my opinion and my knowledge of the work of California Massage Therapy Council, but I also happen to be in the past for several years vice president of SAGE, the most prominent service provider that started the work with victims of human trafficking in the Bay Area. And I remember how then Mayor and now Governor Newsom joined SAGE and the local group working on massage parlors for an inspection, documented and frequently showed on the TV, which inspection convinced him how much the massage parlors and massage establishments, if not overseen properly, can be actually a crime scene.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
What I want to...
Thank you very much.
My name is Patricia Kluwer. I'm a licensed California realtor for the last 35 years. I paid my tuition in full, completed more than 550 hours at an approved school, and submitted my application to CMATC on November 29, 2023. After numerous phone calls and emails and attending their last 5 meetings, I still have zero response from them. No answers to my questions as to why my certification is being wrongfully and illegally withheld, and what does their litigation with A to Z have to do with me. Today I'm here to have my voice heard. All of CMATC hides behind phone lines, computer screens, and even their public meetings where they pretend to listen to public comments for 2 minutes, then continue to ignore us. They do not answer to anyone but themselves. They are not being held accountable. They even have ignored a judge's ruling multiple times, and they are not even following their own rules and regulations. In the last 16 months, I have been denied the opportunity and continue to be denied the opportunity to serve people who want and need my skills and services as a massage therapist. Conservatively, I have lost over $200,000 in income. I have been more than patient and waiting long enough. This mess with CMATC's witch hunt against A to Z has nothing to do with me or the other 250 plus students that are being affected by their reckless actions. Today, I am respectfully and humbly imploring you to please disband the CMATC. Make sure anyone serving on the board of directors and working for CMATC in any capacity will never be able to work or have anything to do with certifying or issuing licensing to schools and or its students. Have California become a licensed state for massage therapy. And finally, whatever it takes, please have someone find my application file that has just been thrown aside and issue me my certification. I am familiar with licensure. I have been a licensed realtor for 35 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
My name is Lauren McLaughlin. I'm CAMTC certification number 27187. I wrote pages so I could be succinct, but I think listening to everybody, I'm going to try and synopsize some of this stuff. I want to thank I want to commend the staff for the report that they did, so my comments would be briefer. I feel like we're back where we started. It used to be, in the beginning, one law. Now we're back to 483 municipalities and 58 counties have their own. There's 256 cities or municipalities requiring CAMTC certification. There may be more since last August. The public thinks we're licensed. They are surprised to find out we're under the Vice Squad. Certified therapists are confused, thinking that CAMTC licensed them or they're members of CAMTC, and they wonder why CAMTC doesn't do anything for them. Clearly, this is a lack of communication. The certification experiment has run its course. Instead of mandatory voluntary certification by a nonprofit corporation, it's time for a license. CAMTC lacks transparency in how it deals with the public, its own board, and those certified. The recent icon that they're plastering on documents regarding Platinum Award for Transparency is something any nonprofit can obtain by completing a checklist. It's akin to the old website awards that you'd put on your site. It's ludicrous. How is it that board meetings cost $10,000 each? There apparently was no policy or procedure per diem for travel. 2 scholarships are now awarded. Legislator of the Year and now also City of the Year awards are given. Over 2 or 3 years period, a total of $50,000 was given to the California Police Chiefs Association.
2 minutes flies by faster than you think.
I got 2 sentences.
How about take one?
Okay. Law enforcement agencies get free training, and now law enforcement is asked to write letters at Sunset Review.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, Senators. My name is Christopher Baroni. I drove here from Los Angeles County. Senator Ashby, I really appreciate what you pointed out. When I was in college, if my university would have been discredited or lost their certification, I would have wanted to know. I'm one of the 140 students that has not received their license or certificate from CAMTC. I completed my education in November. My application was received in 11/10/2023, application ID 167360. It's also going to be purged, or it should have already been purged, because it's only good for a year. I completed. I'm a business owner, so guess what you do? When you get certification, you locate, you get a lease. I signed a lease. I had a lease. I was awaiting my certification. No different than when you open a bar and you're waiting for a liquor license. I did everything that I was supposed to do. This has nothing to do with A to Z. It has nothing to do with CAMTC. I'm a consumer. You're the business entity that promotes businesses in the state of California. Everybody in this line wants to open a business in the state of California, and we're being withheld. We paid our money. We completed our courses. Give us our certification and our licenses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Malley. I have been CAMTC certified number 9886. I've been doing massage professionally since 1976 and owned and directed a bureau-approved massage school, Healing Arts Institute, from 1990 until 2011 when I sold the school. When CAMTC started, they emphasized everything was voluntary. It's become much more mandatory in most of the state. The schools, let me back up. City of Roseville, where I'm licensed, I had to undergo the screening, the fingerprint screening, background check, and everything, pay licensing fees, not only for a business license, but massage license, besides having gone through CAMTC. They say it would be more expensive doing state licensing. I don't believe that because we're subject to local licensing still. And when CAMTC started, they said that it would alleviate us of local licensing issues, but that's not been the case. Regarding schools, they were very capricious in how they certified schools, or approved schools, I should say. They were making up rules as they went along. Schools, it would take many months or even a year or more to be approved. And during that time, the schools suffered because people would not want to register for a school that was not yet approved. So it caused a lot of problems, and I know schools that closed because of problems with that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jeff Hopkins. In 2022, my wife, currently of 26 years, Amy Hopkins, and I moved to Folsom. We learned of CMTC requirements at that time. Prior to that, she worked very successfully as a massage therapist in Chico for 8 years, where a CAMTC certification was not required. We followed the steps, found the school that was recommended by the CAMTC with no disclaimers, and did the work. Today, 2+ years have passed since Amy completed her program, yet CAMTC has stalled her certification with bureaucratic delays in formal hearings and baseless investigations. Why? Because she is an American of Asian descent is all that I can arrive at. Yes, her first language is not English, yet her intelligence, her skills, and her work ethic are equal to that of any licensed massage professional. In fact, she speaks 3 languages fluently. I speak 1, and I am employed as an English teacher. Despite her qualifications and experience, she remains unable to work legally in the massage area in our area of California, depriving us of income and jeopardizing her professional future. I do not like to speak ill of the CMTC or people in general. However, we have been left to our own devices to ascertain the reasons for these delays, and the future looks hazy right now. Are we just to walk away and pretend that this did not happen? We have been devastated for the past 2 years and continue to feel depressed by this matter. Each day, I go to work and watch my wife suffer in silence. What did you do today? Nothing. The same as yesterday. I tell her to stay positive. But it is difficult to keep ignoring the elephant in the room. The stress on our marriage is palpable. I mourn for my wife. I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you very much.
Hey there. Thank you, Chairman and members. My name is Laura Pereira. I am the Director of Government Relations for ABMP, the Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals. We represent massage professionals all across the country, all 50 states and some territories. I also represent 3 other licensed professions. I'm here to speak in favor of sunsetting CAMTC and establishing mandatory statewide licensure. I find it laughable that CAMTC can claim a licensing board is incapable of regulating massage when 45 states are currently doing it and doing it better than CAMTC. Response times to phone calls and emails are abysmal. They are not an hour or 2 or 10 seconds. In fact, my last email to CAMTC was sent almost 2 weeks ago, and I've yet to receive a response. That is par for the course. CAMTC has outlived its usefulness and is no longer capable of adequately serving California's massage therapists. It is unnecessarily self-serving and costly. Fees are raised year after year, while, as you've noted, the CEO's salary has grown to roughly 3 times that of the Department of Consumer Affairs leaders and over 3 times more than that of the governor of the state of California. The median annual income for a massage therapist is less than $30,000 a year. Massage therapists should not have to pay hundreds of dollars, a fee much higher than the majority of licensed states, for a voluntary certification that isn't even valid across the whole state. In my role, I represent 4 licensed professions across all 50 states. I receive more complaints from your constituents about CAMTC than I receive about the licensing boards for my 3 other licensed professions in all 50 states combined. Your constituents are being taken advantage of by CAMTC. They pay excessive fees to fund an exorbitant salary for the CEO of an organization that does not answer phone calls or emails, shuts down schools, and refuses certification with no oversight or due process, appoints its own membership, and runs off members who dare to shed a light on their internal processes. I implore you to move to sunset CAMTC and join 45 other states in legitimizing massage therapy as a licensed profession in California.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Timothy Peckinpah on behalf of the American Massage Therapy Association. I am the Government Relations Chair for the California chapter. The AMTA has 106,000 members with approximately 9,000 members in California. We believe the time has come to move away from a voluntary certification model that the CAMTC offers to a mandatory statewide license because of this simple truth. Those who do not have the appropriate training, qualifications, and education in the field of massage therapy should not be permitted to use the title of massage therapist or to claim to work within its scope of practice. Voluntary certification cannot achieve this end. We are thankful for the work the CAMTC has done in advancing the treatment of our profession. However, certification was always meant as a pathway to full licensure, as a temporary fix, not as a permanent solution. We often hear of their nimbleness and expediency in removing certifications from therapists, yet many therapists' own experiences tell a different story, with some therapists waiting over 1.5 years for their certification with their applications pending review. We believe licensure will have a threefold benefit to the public, the practitioners, and the profession: safeguarding the public against those fraudulently claiming our job title, demanding that massage therapists are treated as the trained professionals that we are, and demanding that massage therapy is aligned with all other healthcare fields. And let's be clear, massage therapy is healthcare. My own practice focuses on chronic pain management, serving patients mostly in the Palm Springs region. Somebody once told me, you can't throw a rock without hitting a massage therapist in Palm Springs. That is not accurate. You can't throw a rock without hitting a sex worker in Palm Springs who is legally misappropriating our job title. Just as we can't call ourselves acupuncturists, physical therapists, or chiropractors if we are not qualified, the same should hold true for our field. So with high regard for public safety and a reverence for our profession and its practitioners, we support sunsetting the CAMTC and sunrising a full licensing board for California.
Thank you.
Chair and members, Jonathan Feldman on behalf of the California Police Chiefs Association. We do support the sunset extension of the CAMTC, and I want to speak briefly about the role that CAMTC plays specifically within the public safety arena. As an ally of law enforcement, they have helped combat human trafficking and prostitution over the years. Through certification and oversight, they can assist in identifying the illicit operations and take swift action. We can compare them to some of the licensing boards across the state, and we do see a dramatic difference between the slow process of licensure and the swift action of the CAMTC, and for that, law enforcement is appreciative when we're talking about human trafficking and prostitution. Finally, through their consultation with cities in developing local ordinances, CAMTC has helped in giving cities, both administrators and city police, the ability to tackle the illicit behavior on their own. For that, we are grateful and do support this sunset extension.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Stephen Carson. I'm the president of the California Massage Envy Franchisee Association, which represents over 100 Massage Envy locations throughout the state. We employ about 2,500 massage therapists. Massage Envy actually pays for AMTA membership for our therapists. So of the 9,000 AMTA members, probably a good chunk of those are ours. I can speak only from my experience. I've been a franchisee for 17 years. We predate CMTC. The beginning was very rough. I remember a lot of conversations with our therapists about when am I going to get my certification, renewal is such a pain in the butt, blah, 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 blah. There hasn't been a groundswell in any of my stores in the last 10 years about those issues. Mr. Archuleta brought up, I think, a question about licensing time versus certification time. 8 days, pretty common. It's to the point now where if it's taking more than a couple of weeks, we look at our own people and say, what did you not turn in? Because usually that's the case. I'd say 90% plus. I facilitated a transfer of someone to an Illinois Massage Envy. They gave up after 6 months. They couldn't get a license and moved to Indiana because it was only 10 miles away and it had more favorable terms. They were able to get it within 2 months, right? Licensure to me is not the answer. Bureaucracies are large and unresponsive and generally have a poor track record. In addition to being president of the California Franchise Association, I'm elected to the national board for Massage Envy, representing over 1,000 locations, and we regularly delve into licensing issues and regulations of all states. I can tell you forthrightly, I don't hear great things from other states.
Thank you.
They want to be more like us. Thank you. And I support not sunsetting MCT.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you, members of the committee, for this opportunity to come and speak before you. My name is Rhonda Cutter, and I have been a massage therapist for over 40 years. I graduated from the McKinnon School of Massage Therapy and also was an instructor there. Besides that, I've been very, very active as a organizer. I helped form the Bay Area Body Therapy Guild in the early 80s. We had a panel discussion on should we have licensure of massage. And this was in the early 80s. It's a very robust conversation. It's been going on for years. And I just want to say this is a very difficult issue. Trying to regulate prostitution basically through massage therapy, and I'm really frustrated. All of the complaints have to do with massage being hijacked. So please take that into consideration and understand that we are working to separate ourselves out the best we can, given that prostitution is not legal or regulated in any way, and therefore there are other kinds of professions where these people hide. I think CAMTC has done a great job at finding ways to remove the quote-unquote bad apples, as you've mentioned. I worked with the city of San Rafael as the chair of the Massage Ordinance Advisory Committee since early, like 1999 we started. And the city, I watched firsthand that CAMTC staff did an excellent job collaborating with law enforcement, educating local regulators and staff in order to create a very effective massage regulation. And by using CAMT certification as part of local ordinances, we can help better protect the public without becoming so overburdened with regulation. So I just want to let you know, I strongly believe that CAMTC is doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
We could always do better.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Cher Gonzalez on behalf of my client, the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, otherwise known as CAST. We are the nation's largest human victims human trafficking victims services provider. We're here to speak in support of CMTC. CMTC and CAST are collaborating to enhance awareness and education around labor trafficking in the massage industry. This initiative aims to equip professionals with the knowledge to identify and prevent labor trafficking while fostering safe work environments. Through this partnership, CAST is providing expertise and resources to ensure CMTC stakeholders have access to survivor-centered, trauma-informed training. Our goal is to strengthen efforts that prevent labor trafficking while uplifting the rights and dignity of workers. For these reasons, we strongly urge the committee to reauthorize the California Massage Therapy Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Taylor Toledo, and I'm here on behalf of Chris Mueller-Tabanera, Chief Strategy Officer of the Network, a national organization with recognized expertise in dismantling human trafficking through the fight against illicit massage businesses. We've worked on this issue in nearly every state, and I'll say this very plainly. While many approaches are well-intentioned, few provide the consistency and collaboration needed to truly disrupt these criminal networks. California, through the California Massage Therapy Council, stands out as a model that does. When we partnered with the National Association of Attorneys General to host a national convening on best practices in 2023, we chose to hold it here, not for the optics, but because CMTC's model works. Their approach is grounded in genuine partnership with massage professionals, law enforcement, and local governments. That day-to-day collaboration is one of the strongest tools we have for protecting vulnerable people and preserving the integrity of the profession. There's been interest in moving toward licensure, and while that may sound straightforward, our experience tells a different story. In many places, licensure has created loopholes, just enough structure to look official, and just enough distance to make enforcement harder. Organized crime adapts quickly, and we've seen what happens when policy gets ahead of practice. CMTC isn't theoretical. It's tested, it's trusted, and it works. Now is not the time to experiment with unproven models. It's time to strengthen what already is making a difference. The network strongly encourages the legislature to continue CMTC as a nonprofit organization implementing the Massage Therapy Act for another 4 years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Stacy Morrison, reading a statement on behalf of Elaine Cattell. I am unable to attend the joint Sunset Review hearing today. I would like to put on record my thanks and support for the California Massage Therapy Council, CAMTC. I submitted a shorter version of this statement to the Honorable Mark Berman via email on Thursday, March 20th. I worked for Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety from December 2014 until my retirement in December 2024. Sunnyvale is the second largest city in Santa Clara County. As a civilian manager, I was responsible for the administration of massage business permits pursuant to Sunnyvale Municipal Code, Chapter 9.41, passed in 2015 with the help of Beverly May, CAMTC Director of Governmental Affairs. The stated purpose of SMC 9.41 is to protect the public from the use of massage businesses as fronts for criminal activity such as prostitution and human trafficking. The permitting program in Sunnyvale, which utilizes revocable business permits and administrative enforcement, has been highly successful. Due to the strength of the ordinance, the department's commitment to the community, and an active collaboration with CAMTC, the city can identify owners of illicit massage businesses and prevent them from operating. A key component of the Sunnyvale ordinance states that only CAMTC certified massage practitioners may provide massage services in Sunnyvale. This protects the public by assuring all massage practitioners are fully trained and have no criminal history. In addition, the Sunnyvale permitting program supports legitimate businesses by removing unfair competition. It also allows massage practitioners to provide valuable services to the public in a safer business environment.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I want to just encourage everybody while this next speaker is speaking, take a look at your talking points. If anybody has already said what you were planning to say, feel free to just align yourself with those comments. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name's Monica Wilson, and I'm proud to serve as a councilwoman in the city of Antioch. Today, I'm here to express my unwavering support for the California Massage Therapy Council, or CAMTC, as we confront the pressing issues of illegal massage establishments in our communities. Throughout my career, including my role as a senior program manager at Love Never Fails, an organization dedicated to combating human trafficking, I've seen firsthand the devastating impacts that illegal activities can have on individuals and families. Attending national convenings has equipped me with invaluable insights into the growing crisis surrounding illegal massage establishments. CAMTC has been a crucial voice in shedding light on this urgent issue during critical hearings. In California, we are witnessing a significant rise in these illegal operations, and it is imperative that we equip our cities with the necessary tools and resources to address this problem. CAMTC is not just an organization, it is an essential partner in this fight. Back in 2017, the City of Antioch recognized this, and we joined forces with CAMTC to draft an ordinance aimed at safeguarding our community from these harmful businesses. I'm proud to say that since implementing this ordinance, we've experienced a tangible decrease in illegal massage establishments in Antioch. This partnership fortified our city, making it a safer place for our residents and ensuring that legitimate massage therapy practices can thrive without competition from illegal operations. CAMTC is not only a support system, it represents a stronger model for all of our cities. With its help, we can protect our communities and foster an environment where legitimate businesses can flourish, free from the shadows of illegal activities. As we move forward, let us continue to support CAMTC in this mission. Together, we can create a safer California for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member.
Hi there. My name is Stan Grod. I've been licensed in the state of California for physical therapy as well as certified massage therapist. I've been practicing since 1971. I've also owned a chain of massage centers since 1979. I've also been one of the supervisors for two Olympics, the '84 and the 2004 Olympics. Cutting down to the bottom line is the things that have not been said before is Los Angeles will be holding the 2028 Olympics. It is imperative that during this next 3 years that we must keep CMTA in place to assure that the professional qualifications and experienced massage therapists represent California in the Olympics and the Olympic Committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Chester Zhou. I'm the chairman of the board in the Chinese Chamber of Commerce of Los Angeles. We strongly supporting maintaining the California Massage Therapy Council in his current form and oppose moving to state licensing for massage therapists. Founded in 1898, Chinese Chamber of Commerce is the independent nonprofit organization representing over 160,000 Chinese American owned business in Los Angeles. This business generates more than $70 million in taxable, variable, and revenue and employ over 50,000 people. Since 2009, CAMTC was been a key partner to the Chinese community and massage business working to combat human trafficking and helping lawful establishment distinguish themselves from illegal operation. CAMTC cooperation with local government has strengthened them. This effort and supporting business success. We also appreciate CAMTC recent step to improve access for Chinese-speaking students, just as accepting massage education from Chinese-speaking countries. Translating key material into Chinese and distribute bilingual brochures to help students avoid non-approved schools. CAMTC plays an important role in protecting helpless students, especially recent immigration from fraudulent and predatory school. Chinese Chamber of Commerce firmly believes CAMTC should remain a non-profit focused on voluntary certification. Shipping the state license should limit our members.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this. My name is Bill Armour, and I am the owner and CEO of Burke Williams Spas. We have 11 locations in California, and we employ between 800 and 1,000 CAMT certified massage therapists. I started the company nearly 40 years ago, and at that time, each municipality required licensure. During that time, we experienced bureaucratic inefficiencies that contributed to a continuum of hiring challenges, as well as barrier to entry challenges. Most importantly, I can assure you that the proliferation of illicit massage businesses was rampant, and licensure did little, if anything, to address the public safety concern. Currently, all of my locations offer skincare, and all of our estheticians are licensed by the State Board of Cosmetology. The challenges dealing with the state licensure in skincare are much greater than any challenges we have when dealing with CAMTC. Not perfect, but from an efficiency perspective, there is no comparison. As a business, our interactions with CAMTC are effective and responsive, allowing professional massage businesses such as Burke Williams to operate efficiently. Because of their efficiencies and standards, CAMTC has had a direct impact on the geometric growth of professional massage therapy in California. Further, they have contributed greatly to bringing respectability to the massage profession in this state. The most significant challenge massage businesses currently face in California is the shortage of people entering this profession. The inherent inefficiencies and inevitable higher costs of state licensure will only exacerbate this already challenging shortage.
Thank you very much.
Resulting in an increase in business closures and increased unemployment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the time today. I'm Sarah Frazier. I'm here in support of CAMTC, representing the California Association of Private Post-Secondary Schools. I've been a massage educator for 15 years and a massage therapist for 22. In education, CAMTC represents high-quality standards with consistent oversight to ensure that we are training professional and safe massage therapists. Schools must adhere to policies and procedures clearly communicated via a variety of avenues, including email, monthly school calls, and the CAMTC website. Make no mistake that what a school needs to do to be compliant is made very obvious. Eradicating sex trafficking and protecting the public requires a good educational foundation with appropriate rigor and regulation. In order to respond and address schools, you must have a nimble organization that allows for quick response and follow-up. Licensure has not been proven to be quick acting or nimble. CAMTC is responsive to questions and suggestions that schools have and is encouraging for our industry to have an organization that is agile and responsive. I regularly hear about licensure boards responding slowly to needed actions to protect the public or suggestions. CAMTC is set up in a way that allows them to provide the quality service to the public, schools, and stakeholders. We need CAMTC in California to regulate the quality and validity of schools, to protect the public, and to diligently and expeditiously remove bad actors in the industry and schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, committee member, it is my honor to address this meeting today. My name is Taw Saralamba, Consul General of Thailand in Los Angeles. So as a representative of the Thai government in California, the Royal Thai Consulate General share common goals with CAMTC to ensure the highest standard of education and practice in massage therapy. Nuat Thai or Thai massage indeed was a pride of our nation, the same like Thai food, Thai boxing that we would like to promote around the world. The Thai massage has been recognized by the United Nations, inscribed traditional Thai massage as the intangible cultural heritage of humanities in 2019. So we have been working closely with CMTC to promote this standard and education practice around the world for the betterment of our service around the world. So from my experience, working CMTC has formed a professional relationship with the community of Thai massage therapists for quite a long time. They work hand in hand till today, aiming for the excellence in providing the best Thai massage therapy to their customer in California. So I hope that the committee will share the same aspiration as myself to see this cooperation move on and on for the benefit of the public and for the benefit of the customer in California. Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chairwoman. Thank you.
Thank you, Consul General.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Chair members. My name is Keith Chatpapachai. It is my privilege as a president of Thai American Association of Southern California, a nonprofit organization established in 1962, to stand before you in strong support of the California Massage Therapy Council, CAMTC. Massage therapy is more than just a profession. It is a vital part of health, wellness, and cultural tradition, especially within our Thai American community. This massage, with its deep-rooted healing techniques, has brought comfort, relief, and well-being to countless individuals. CAMTC play an essential part in protecting the integrity of this profession, ensuring that therapists are well-trained, certified, and operate in a safe and ethical environment. By upholding high standards and preventing unlawful activity, CAMTC empowers skilled professionals to thrive, contribute to the economy, and continue delivering valuable services to the people of California. It also helps maintain public trust in an industry deeply connected to health and wellness. Let us continue to support CAMTC in its mission to elevate and protect massage therapy so that it remains a respected professional and thriving industry in our great state. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dave Sanchez. Although I'm here in my personal capacity, I'm a current senior federal regulator and have decades of experience as a regulatory attorney. I'm talking about issue 18, enforcement proceedings. Regardless of any other outcome of this sunset review, ensuring due process protection for over 50,000 hardworking California professionals should be of paramount concern for this legislature. Unfortunately, the disciplinary process described earlier by Ms. Siegel are not exactly how it works in practice. The current law allows the CAMTC to suspend certificates without a hearing, even when the police have declined to file criminal charges, and revoke certificates based on supposed procedures that have never been communicated to certificate holders. According to the CAMTC, a person may be deprived of the right to earn a living for crimes as egregious as not updating their address on the CAMTC website. If a certificate is suspended by the CAMTC does not inform holders of their right to an attorney. A suddenly out-of-work certificate holder is given less than 15 days to get an attorney and then pay for what amounts to summary discipline by CAMTC paid hearing officers, which the CAMTC then misleadingly tells them as a final decision. If the holder is skilled enough at legal research to learn of their right to appeal an adverse decision, the current law allows the CAMTC to assert that that can only happen in Sacramento, making it a practical impossibility for many certificate holders. Efficiency in the context of ensuring people's basic constitutional rights is not a positive word. This legislature is aware that CAMT certificate operates as a de facto license. It is effectively mandatory and not voluntary. Having that knowledge should prompt you to ensure due process for these 50,000 hardworking California professionals and not continue to subject them to second-class citizenship. This can be accomplished either under certificate structure or a license structure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Umarin Walter. I run a small business, massage school in Los Angeles. I am here to show my support to CAMTC, especially for work they have done in school oversight. They have been effective at weeding out fraudulent schools, which were basically selling bogus education certificates for money. And in some cases, this school did not even care if the students actually attended or not. CAMTC has really made an impact in enforcing minimum quality standards for schools As a result, the education requirements for CAMTC's certificate actually means something. In my experience, they take their job seriously and they have responsive and fair. Although there might be other ways to conduct educational oversight and massage certification, the system we currently have in place with CAMTC is well understood and is operating effectively. As a school owner as well as a spa owner, I would not support dropping what we have now for some unknown alternative. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jalunporn Hacker. I am President North Thai and Spa Association of America. Today, I come for support CMTC because behalf our association would like to explain our stronger support for the continuation. For CAMTC, our organization have construction rely on CAMTC continue update on law, regulation, and country best practice and directly behalf our member, the CMTC board and CEO have consistent exceptional expert and our need to for testing and more silly benefits relationship and expand both our member professional grow up and public trust in trustee. But all the time CMTC meeting with us and I have proof for all the time they try to explain and try to meeting when we are member like a 600 member no understand we need help from CMTC they all go and help us and now I support for CMTC for can stay and strong for help and go again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Panuwat C. Samachan, owner of Sri Thai Massage and Bodywork in Sacramento, and a member of a board of directors for the North Thai and Spa Association of America. I'm here to express my advocate for support of CMTC to benefit our industry and community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Opas Malipan. I'm president of Thai Town Council, Los Angeles. I want to ensure that we have good system for manage massage business in California, make it better. So I support CAMTC. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Tim Weitzer. I'm co-owner of National Holistic Institute. We're the first accredited and largest school of massage therapy in California with 10 locations throughout the state. I know a number of people who have spoken previously on behalf of licensure, but I have to strongly disagree with their position. CAMTC has done an excellent job over the years of weeding out bad actors and diploma mills, and I strongly support another 4 years with CAMTC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman, Mike Knutson on behalf of the California Professional Massage Therapy Coalition. We have no demands today, just some requests and some observations. One is we think it would be a grave mistake to sunset or allow CMTC to be sunsetted. We also agree with DA Rosen that there would be a giant step back in what we're able to do as a state related to trafficking. And the existential, there would be a lot of chaos, and I have not seen yet any analysis in which the costs for the therapists and for the businesses that employ them won't go up. And that's, I think, pretty well established. If you think the line is long now, let's head down that direction and see how long the line gets. But so we appreciate the intention and all the attention that it's gotten, but and any organization that is complex, deals with people and their livelihoods, could probably do better. We would love to see all this energy and effort spent trying to improve CMTC and what it does with and for the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, committee, chair member. My name is Kimberly Austin. I am a certified massage therapist. I have been for 9 years. I am in support of CMTC. this state cannot afford to establish a new license. Many have tried over years and years and have been failed and failed and failed. This is not the time in this political climate. If you guys are concerned about fees, just make sure the fees stay at 300. If you're concerned about the CEO's salary, which I hear complained about all the time, just cap his salary. Make sure they can't get many more if that's the issue that you guys see. Of course, an incoming CEO is not going to probably make as much as him, so do what you will with that. If you guys are concerned about the finances, go ahead and audit them like you have suggested in your background paper. Just for the ease of mind of everyone else, if you feel that's necessary, it is your ability to be able to do that on behalf of this board. I have worked with Governmental Affairs Beverly May to help create an ordinance, update an ordinance in Sacramento County. No licensing board is going to go out of their way to help clean up an ordinance. She goes above and beyond. I mean, she helped create this entity. So I think it's a good thing. Why fix what's not broken? You can do little tweaks, but sunsetting it at this point would be a terrible idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Berman and Chair Ashby. Thank you for lasting this long, and committee members. My name is Stacy DeGoyer. I'm a massage therapist of 32 years, currently working in Petaluma and San Francisco. I was the GR chair of the AMTA California chapter during the 2014 Sunset Review, and I have participated in hearings every few years. I would like to make 3 points. First, this is not the time to grow the state's operational or financial burdens. CAMTC does not impact the California state budget, the California taxpayers, or add an additional cent to the ever-increasing CalPERS expenses. At a time when the executive branch of the federal government is defunding needed services, laying off employees, and killing the downstream funding of many health programs, the California legislature would be financially responsible to extend CAMTC sunset. Second, over the past 25 years, I've been to many city council meetings and board of supervisor meetings where local officials are trying to deal with prostitution problems. This often occurs in a downturned economy when resources are minimized. The reason cities and counties have made CAMTC certification a requirement, it is because it saves local authorities costs. Every year, in order to obtain my business license in Petaluma, I go to the city hall, I submit my certificate and driver's license, and my status is checked with CAMTC, and then my business license is renewed. Third, the credential of a C for certification or an L for licensure will not change the costs of opening a small business. The L will not change the necessity of local authorities to manage where and how massage businesses operate. Local laws will still be could require conditional use permits, determine zoning regulations, or set building requirements.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Katie Mickey, and I am the director of the Santa Barbara Body Therapy Institute and have been for the last 35 years. And I am here to express my strong support of the continuance of the California Massage Therapy Council. CAMTC has played a significant role in approving schools and disapproving over 70 paper mill schools previously approved by the BPE. Prior to CMTC adopting the function of school approval, we had graduates being denied licensure in the states of Nevada and Arizona on the basis that their certificate of completion from a California BP-approved school they would not recognize. 2 years ago, I attended the National Association of Attorney Generals convening on human trafficking, which drew attorney generals, state boards, and law enforcement from all over the country to discuss their best strategies in stopping human trafficking. I attended many panels and learned that CMTC's approach of educational oversight, consumer protection, professional accountability, and strong partnerships with local government and law enforcement was among the most successful in the entire country in shutting down trafficking operations. So if this board decides to go the way of state licensure, then the national exam requirement will follow. And from my perception, I want to assure you that does not increase the safety or competency of massage therapists for the public. Instead, it shifts the focus in the classroom to test preparation, memorization, rather than skill building in massage competency. The state and national pass rate is roughly 70%. And that means that 30% of the therapists who have trained, and often with government funding, are not able to practice.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm BJ Pitts, CMT. 9522 is my certificate number. I've been a massage therapist for 30 years and in private practice for 27. I think CAMTC has its hiccups, like any board, has its growing pains, and I think working together can continue to make it viable. Please do not sunset it.
Thank you.
Senator Ashby, Assemblymember Berman, and committee members, good morning. My name's Curtis Bennett. I retired from the San Diego Fire Department 3 years ago and moved to Santa Rosa. While walking my dog in my neighborhood, I saw numerous massage businesses, many of which had red flags that indicated they might be illicit massage businesses, IMBs. A quick Google search revealed that Santa Rosa, a 42 square mile city with 175,000 people, had 130 massage businesses. As a result, I organized a concerned citizens group and contacted the CAMTC asking for their support in addressing IMBs in Santa Rosa. They immediately engaged and offered their full support. In February of 24, CAMTC representatives came to our first meeting at the library and gave a compelling presentation to more than 60 citizens and city officials, illuminating the connection between IMBs, human trafficking, and organized crime. After that meeting, the CAMTC collaborated with the City of Santa Rosa to create a new massage business ordinance while guiding me as a neophyte anti-human trafficking advocate. 1 year and 2 weeks after our first meeting, a new robust massage business ordinance was adopted in Santa Rosa. The ordinance stands to eradicate IMBs while ensuring that certified massage professionals are not negatively impacted. Forgive me. None of this would have happened without the CAMTC. The CAMTC was highly responsive, incredibly supportive of my efforts, and had the institutional knowledge and experience required to effectively partner with the City of Santa Rosa to deliver a new ordinance. The new ordinance sets the stage for a reduction in sex trafficking and human suffering in my community. Based on my personal experience, CAMTC is a model organization that gets the job done and has earned the right to continue doing good work. I urge you to support CAMTC.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Amy Hopkins. I come to America 26 years. I think I'm a part American citizens. I think I'm American too. So I go to school at AZ because I finished my 550 hours. I'm not criminal. I'm really, I work in Chico, 8 years for therapist. I think I'm a good massage therapist. So I moved to the Folsom. So you guys say need a CMTC, need a certificate. I go to school. I learn in my 550 hours. So I'm really good students. I finished my class. I'm really good. So I need to work. I need a job. I'm waiting for 2 years. I'm so tired. Please give me my license. Let me go to work. So this is I come to today. Please. Thank you. Thank you for everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
wanted to ask if I'm allowed to read something on behalf of another student who was not able to be here.
No, but feel free to have them submit it in writing so that we have it as a part of the record.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this opportunities here to talking about the CAMTC. My name is Julie Wang, and I'm the licensed acupuncturist. Also, I was working in the ACCHS as a massage CMTC under their program, massage program. And currently, I just had a new school, become a director of the Caltrina Institute. So I'm actually have many experience with CMTC in the past. And I know Joe Bob Smith. I appreciated their work. You know, they are in the Southern California. They're coming to here. I'm in the Bay Area. But what I'm just a little concerned about, the way they are doing is license issue. Sometimes, for whatever the reason, it's really get the students anxiety for waiting things. I'm hoping they can have more transparency for that. Also, for the school standpoint, during the COVID, there is a waive exam, like a clause for no more MLEX exam, but I was heard starting 2027, there's a possibility going to bring the exam on board, which is I support, you know, but most of my students, the time, they are the monolingual, they are Chinese, Thai, all kind of, you know, because we have English program and Chinese program. So these people are working really hard. I'm just hoping whoever is just to have this, can take this consideration for New California, their own exam instead of MLEX. MLEX is for the occupational therapist, the physical therapist, their level. It's a master level, not for the people who has a high school level for this. And then to get California version of the exam so people can pass the exam, fully understand the law, what's the law required.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Just a quick reminder, you can only speak one time. Okay. So if you've already spoken with us today,
wanted to ask for your permission to state for the record.
you can't, ma'am. Did you already speak?
Couldn't.
Did you already speak today?
I spoke.
Yeah. Okay. I can't allow you to speak again, and we're really running over time. That's why we lost our chairman. Unfortunately, he was called away to a committee. You're welcome to submit your thoughts to the body. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Senators and Assemblymen. I'm Ron Buckley, a citizen of California since 1971 when I got out of the Air Force. In 2008, I got laid off from a high-paying job, and wanting to stay in the area, I decided to become a massage therapist. There was a local school in town, Santa Barbara, and I attended it, and fortunately I was on unemployment, so WIA paid for my entire education. After 500 hours of training, the CMTC certified me as a massage therapist. My experience with CMTC has always been positive. I've attended several of their board meetings and find them very well run by experienced and competent leaders. You've got some really good folks sitting in front of you right here. I do believe that they do a good job of weeding out bad apples, both practitioners and schools, in an effort to keep the public safe. It seems to me that those who are opposed to this extension of CMTC fall into three categories: those with grudges for various reasons, those with financial gain sought by the testing entities, and insurance companies that want to use their database as marketing. If you force therapists to take the national test, you're going to be eliminating a number of therapists who are really good with their hands, really good therapists, but they can't pass a test very well. I've met some people like that they're good people, they're good therapists, but they'll never pass the national test. And finally, this is my most important point, is the CMTC actively opposes human trafficking. They do this by closing down paper mill schools, and they collaborate with organizations and enforcement. There is a saying, if it's working, don't mess with it. In this therapist's opinion, the CMTC is working fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you all for your comments and for your grace with each other and with us. It's challenging on these days of committee hearings. We also have floor session, which is how we lost our chairman there. He, by the way, waited until he got yelled at least 3 times before he left this dais because he really wanted to hear from all of you. So credit to him for staying as long as he possibly could without getting in trouble. So I appreciate all of you very much. That's going to close us out for this meeting today. Thank you for sitting through those comments. Obviously, we have our work cut out for us, and we will take to heart the comments of everyone who came today and all of the comments that are submitted online as well. We're adjourned.
Bill, and respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you very much. And we'll be moving on to AB 1504.
Start by thanking Assemblymember Berner for letting me quickly do the last sunset bill before she presents her bill. AB 1504 is the sunset bill for the California Massage Therapy Council. This bill would extend the sunset date for the existing council by an additional 4 years while making reforms to address issues raised during the sunset review oversight process. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much. First witness, 2 minutes.
I'm Timothy Peckinpah,
Turn your mic on, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm Timothy Peckinpah here today representing the AMTA as their Government Relations Chair for California. We have a support if amended position on AB 1504 and would like to thank the author and his staff for continuing to work with us. I would like to express my gratitude to the author for defining massage therapy as healthcare in the bill. The CAMTC does commendable work raising awareness and supporting efforts to combat human trafficking. However, I'd like to remind all of us that human trafficking and prostitution are not massage therapy. Massage therapy is a healthcare service and deserves to be regulated by a state board like all other health professions. CAMTC's intended mission of patient protection, of elevating the practice with appropriate standards, of supporting students if their school is in danger or has lost its accreditation, simply falls far short. We agree that there are some meritorious qualities with the current structure, which is why we support building on what works to create a sustainable and efficient licensing board to set a standard of professional practice. It is paramount to do so at this juncture because massage therapy is healthcare. Countless Californians who seek treatments from qualified massage therapists find relief for a myriad of conditions ranging from chronic pain to the effects of cancer to PTSD. I have a patient who stopped taking his prescription fentanyl because he found an alternative means of managing his chronic pain through massage therapy, and so now maybe won't end up as just another number in our nation's opioid epidemic. Another one of my patients is a double amputee who reports that she finds that massage therapy not only assuages her physical pain, but that she also finds mental and emotional relief because she's treated with the dignity that she deserves. It is uncommon for a healthcare field to be governed exclusively by a voluntary certification system that allows the misuse of the professional title. Massage therapy should be regulated with similar standards and respect as other healthcare fields. We need to elevate the status of our profession. We need to respect its practitioners. We need licensure for massage therapy in California.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair?
I appreciate my friend's testimony. I want to just make it clear for folks, that wasn't necessarily testimony in support. That was support if amended, advocating for something that is not currently in the bill. So just in case there were questions about that, just want to make that distinction clear. Thanks.
I appreciate that because I was going to probably had questions about that myself. Anyone else in support of 1504? Come on up. Name and organization, please.
My name is Travis Fisher. By the standards of the International Massage Association, I'm ranked top 10 in the world for sports massage. I support and I represent health, safety, and efficacy, and I strongly support licensing in California.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Laura Pereira, Director of Government Relations for the Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals. I want to thank everyone for their work on this. I look forward to the opportunity to continue to work with sponsors on the proposed sunset date, but I want to say that we echo everything that has been said by AMTA today, and we support the amendments made, and thank you.
Thank you. Name and organization, please.
My name is Lauren McLaughlin. I'm a certified massage therapist practicing in Roseville. I am in support of 1504 if amended. I support what AMTA and ABMP have said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning. James Becker, Senior Director of Government Relations for AMTA National. Support with amendments. Thank you.
Good morning. Kayla Gregory, licensed massage therapist. I agree.
Thanks. Perfect.
Good morning. Michael Robertson, President of the California Massage Therapy Association. Support if amended.
Thank you.
Ada Batun, I'm a certified massage therapist and I support.
Daniela Batoon, spa owner, I support.
Morning, my name is Tony Psychotis. I'm a certified massage therapist in California. I support, if amended, how the PRA requirements are going to be applied to CAMTC is a particularly tricky topic. Thanks.
BJ Pitts, CMT certified, and I support sunsetting, or keeping the sunset going.
Perfect. Thank you.
Ben Drillings, President of California Massage School Association. I support sunset CAMTC and give state license for massage therapy, and the time is now.
Thank you.
Stacy DeGoyer, massage therapist from Petaluma. I support this bill with, if amended. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rhonda Cutter. I'm a massage therapist in Marin County and have worked with the city of San Rafael for many years and CAMTC successfully, and I'm in strong support of continuation of CAMTC and the bill if amended. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Kimberly Austin, certified massage therapist in Folsom. I support AB 1504 if amended. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, anyone in opposition to 1504? Ready when you are, sir. You got 2 minutes, my friend.
Mr. Chairman, Terry McHale with Aaron Reed and Associates representing CAMTC. Familiar with the sunset process, we could either have been in favor and with amendments or opposed with amendments. We just believe the bill needs more work. I'll use my 2 minutes quickly. I remember when Jenny Oropeza, a fiery legislator in 2008, decided to create licensure or oversight for massage therapy. She deliberately did not make it a licensure. She believed then, as we believe now, and as the analysis shows, it was too expensive, it was too onerous. It also cut out the collaboration of local entities. Ex-Senator Richard Roth, who chaired this committee on the Senate side, asked for a study a couple of years ago what would have happened with licensure, and it was discovered that immediately upon licensure, the 2-year cost of $300 for certification would go to over $1,000. We also know from this committee, just title protection. If you look at what you've done with title protection, the cost of title protection is prohibitive. When the radiological assistants with less than 40 people wanted to do title protection, the cost came back in appropriations for over $500,000. It would be ruinous to do licensure. We appreciate that it's not in this legislation. I do want to touch upon the elephant in the room. There is in this legislation a limit to how much the executive officer can make as handling CAMTC. I hope it's a typo in the bill or miscast by the Ledge Council, but it ostensibly says that the executive officer of CAMTC cannot make more than the salary alone of those individuals mentioned in Government Code 11550, which would be impossible to find someone to be able to work for that. I would close by saying, in terms of you take those individuals who are in 11550, and if you were to offer them a couple of $1 million for their retirement and for their health care and for the overall compensation, they would not sell it. We look forward to working with the chair and with his very able staff in trying to reach resolution on some of the concerns in the bill.
Thank you very much. Next witness, 2 minutes, please.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Allison Siegel. I am special counsel to the California Massage Therapy Council. CMTC is looking forward to collaborating with the joint committees on this bill, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. CMTC appreciates all of the hard work put into this bill and is grateful that many of the amendments requested in the Sunset Review Report have been made. However, there are concerns as some of the amendments that have been proposed have some mechanical issues, particularly the provisions related to adding legislative intent to identify CMTC as a quasi-public entity 18 years after the fact, placing PRA requirements on CMTC, government interference with the right of private parties to contract with one another, and placing particularly burdensome requirements on volunteer board members. CMTC is happy to work with the joint committees on these issues and help refine the language to address some legal impediments and structural impossibilities that the amendments create. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in opposition to 1504? Name and organization, please.
Mr. Chairman, members, Mike Knutson on behalf of the California Professional Massage Therapy Coalition. Very much support the sunset work. Grave concerns about the PRA, and we'll continue to work and talk through that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bring it back to committee. Any questions from committee members? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Quick close. I want to assure my friend that there is no typo in the bill. The cap under this bill would be adjusted in step with state employee compensation, but for now the number would be $247,000 a year, which is the same amount that the Secretary of the Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency makes. Respectfully ask for a vote.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item 13, AB 1504 by the committee. Got a motion and a second. Thank you both. Madam Secretary, please call the vote.
On AB 1504, Committee on Business and Professions, the motion is due pass as amended to the Committee on Appropriations. Berman?
Aye.
Berman, aye. Flora? Aaron's? Aaron's, aye. Alanis? Baines? Baines not voting. Bauer Kahan? Bauer Kahan, aye. Caloza? Caloza, aye. Chen? Chen, aye. El Hawari? El Hawari, aye. Hadwick? Irwin? Irwin, aye. Jackson? Jackson, aye. Crowell? Lowenthal? Macedo? Macedo, aye. Huen? Pellerin? Pellerin, aye. Wilson? Wilson, aye.
That bill's out.
Tongue President.
We have a quorum. All right. With that, I would love to dispense with the consent calendar. We will take this up in two different motions. The first motion is due pass to consent, applies to bills that enjoy unanimous support in this committee and are eligible for the Assembly floor. Consent calendar consistent with the Assembly rules. Do we have a motion on this? We have a motion and a second.
Motion is due pass to consent. Assembly Bill 385 Ramos, 415 Chen, 420 Petrie Norris, 447 Mark Gonzalez, 455 Ortega, 525 Lackey, 580 Wallace, 729 Zuber, 753 Garcia, 777 Celeste Rodriguez, 784 Hoover, 818 Avila Farias, 875 Murasucci, 894 Carrillo, 950 Salache, 953 Pacheco, 965 Dixon, 1007 Blanca Rubio, 1017 Berner, 1034 Avila Farias, 1114 Avila Farias, 1125 Wynn. 1141 Lee, 1155 Fong, 1214 Patterson, 1250 Papin, 1275 El Hawari, 1276 Carrillo, 1308 Hoover, 1322 Committee on Agriculture, 1346 DeMaio, 1370 Patterson, and 1531 Committee on Emergency Management.
Thank you. The second motion do pass applies to bills that also enjoy unanimous support in this committee that are not eligible for the Assembly floor consent calendar consistent with Assembly rules. Do we have a motion on this? Great. We got a motion and a second. Okay. A couple seconds. Okay.
Motion is to pass. Assembly Bill 300 Lackey, 317 Jackson, 445 Aguirre Curry, 500 Quicksilver, 527 Papin, 593 Wicks, 609 Wicks, 630 Mark Gonzalez, 665 Chen, 697 Wilson, 779 Lackey, 815 Ortega, 828 Mark Gonzalez, 839 Blanca Rubio, 881 Petrie Norris, 922 Hoover, 940 Wicks, 975 Gallagher, 987 Sharp Collins, 1016 Jeff Gonzalez, 1044 Macedo, 1103 Ward, 1112 Wallace, 1139 Rogers, 1220 Arumbula, 1412 Jeff Gonzalez, and 1504 Berman.
Item 104, AB 1504 by Assemblymember Berman. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1504 by Assemblymember Berman, an act relating to healing arts.
Assemblymember Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 1504 is the sunset bill for the California Massage Therapy Council. This bill would reauthorize the existing council by an additional 4 years, with additional reforms developed in collaboration with the Senate, the council, and other stakeholders through the sunset review process. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Berman. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. On to file item
for additional votes. Now, Assemblyman Berman, and looks like you have the last bill.
Yes, sir. The last bill.
AB 1504.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. AB 1504 is a sunset bill for the California Massage Therapy Council. I'd like to thank Chair Ashby and her committee staff for collaborating with me and my committee on this bill, including the amendments recently taken to address stakeholder concerns. This bill would reauthorize the existing council by an additional 4 years, with additional reforms developed in collaboration with the Senate, the council, and other stakeholders throughout the sunset review process. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Looks like we have many support witnesses.
I think maybe some supporters and some concerned.
Yeah, each member will have 2 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, Terry McHale with Aaron Reed & Associates representing CAMTC. First of all, I want to thank the author and his staff, particularly Robbie Sumner, who's worked closely with us and has pledged to work as we move to the second committee. Sunset hearings always remind me of eating a big plate of spaghetti without a napkin. Ultimately, you get to where you want to be, but you always end up with a lot of sauce on your shirt. There are some issues here that we still have concerns with, certainly the EO pay, but not just that, but any other hiring. Concern that we're getting into an area that there may not be standing with the legislature, and that this opens it up to other 501c3s that are problematic. We have a brand new board that was put in place last year by legislation offered by the legislature. We would ask that you give them an opportunity to do the work that you want them to do. CAMTC has been an extraordinarily successful, although not without fault, program, and we ask that it continue. Thank you very much.
Okay, I will turn it over to the chair and the second witness.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Allison Siegel, and I'm Special Counsel to the California Massage Therapy Council. CMTC is looking forward to continuing to collaborate with the joint committees on this bill, and I am here to answer any questions you may have. CMTC appreciates that many of the amendments requested have been made, particularly the removal of the requirement for a written referral from a California licensed healthcare provider for female breast massage. However, concerns remain, as some of the amendments still have mechanical issues, particularly the provisions placing PRA requirements on CAMTC, language limiting what a private entity can pay its employees, language imposing impossible time limits on education hearings, and placing particularly burdensome requirements on volunteer board members,
1504 by the committee.
ensuring no one will ever agree to be a board
Got a
member
motion and a
again.
second? Thank you both. Madam Secretary,
CMTC
please
is
call the
happy
vote.
to continue to work with the joint committees on
On
these
AB
issues
1504,
and
Committee
help
on Business and
refine the
Professions,
language
the
to
motion
address
is
the
due pass
legal
as amended
impediments
to the
and
Committee on
structural
Appropriations. Berman,
possibilities that the
Berman,
amendments
I.
create.
Flora,
Thank you.
Aaron's,
All right, thank you very
Aaron's,
much for
I.
your comments.
Alanis,
Are there others
Baines,
in support of AB
Baines not
1504?
voting.
You can stay at the
Barakehan,
table there. I think we're going to keep you both here.
Barakehan, I.
AB
Caloza,
1504 in the room.
Caloza,
I'll be
I. Chen,
speaking as a tweener.
Chen,
Okay, go
I.
for it.
Alhori,
I'm Timothy Peckinpah on behalf of the
Alhori,
American
I.
Massage Therapy
Habwick,
Association. I'm their
Irwin,
government relations chair for the state of
Irwin, I.
California.
Jackson,
We ultimately
Jackson, I.
support
Crowell,
AB 1504
Lowenthal,
if amended. Our ultimate goal
Macedo,
is to see the CMTC
Macedo, I.
sunset and to
Huen,
sunrise a full licensing
Pellerin,
board in
Pellerin,
its place
I.
to align
Wilson,
massage therapy with all
Wilson,
other healthcare
I.
fields, since massage therapy is healthcare. However, in the interim, we support extending the CMTC as a transitional measure so that the profession is not left
Rebels
without
out.
oversight. Licensure will support public safety by ensuring only those that are qualified in the field of massage
you.
therapy can call themselves massage therapists.
All right, appreciate that very much. All right, others in support of 1504, please state your name, organization, position on the bill.
Hello, I am Kimberly. I'm an individual certified massage therapist in Folsom. I am in support of AB 1504. Thank you for the changes that were done. There's always a little something, but I believe the certification model is the best cost-effective way to the state and the most thorough way to certify us.
Stacy DeGoyer, individual massage therapist working in Petaluma and San Francisco. I've attended many hearings at the state level as well as city council meetings, and the biggest challenge for massage therapists is not the initial credentialing that happens with CAMTC, which is a great way to acknowledge professional massage therapists, but it's at the local levels of conditional use permits, land use restrictions. Those costs are what really hurt massage therapists. CAMTC is excellent, cost efficient at doing the job of credentialing massage therapists and approving schools and unapproving schools that do not meet the criteria of keeping California safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You guys got to stick to Me Too testimony only, please. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Cutter. I am a massage therapist, a member of the AMTA for over 27 years, and a CAMTC certified
Okay, just your
member.
position name, organization, position on the bill.
Okay, I support the bill with the request the Public Records Act removed.
All right, thank you very much.
BJ Pitts, an individual massage therapist, Sacramento, and I support CAMTC, and I especially support the being able to do the breast work on women. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sorry to be so hard on you guys. I just can't let everybody have 2 minutes to speak, or I'll be here for the rest of my natural born life. Go ahead.
I'll try to do 10 seconds. Tony Psychotis, certified massage therapist, in support, would very much like to see the CPRA requirement removed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren McLaughlin, CMTC certified massage therapist in Roseville. Thank you, Assemblyman Berman, for incorporating my request for the removal of the condition for female breast massage. I agree with AMTA and ABMP. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Knutson here on behalf of the California Professional Massage Therapy Coalition. A lot of good work in this bill. We would love to keep working on the PRA issue and get that a little refined if we could.
Appreciate it. Thank you all so much for your patience, too, because I know everybody's got like a slightly nuanced support position, so we appreciate your patience. Okay, we're going to move to any other tweeners in the room? Or folks? Okay, great. So we're going to move to opposition. We'll have you come up to the table. You'll each get 2 minutes. We're going to leave the supporters at the table as well, because I know there will be questions at the end. I'd like you both to be there. 2 minutes each. When you're ready, go ahead.
Good afternoon, committee members. Hello, and thank you for working on this bill. I'm calling to strongly oppose AB 1504 and to urge you to sunset CMTC and establish a true state licensing board for massage therapists. You have added language recognizing massage therapists as a healthcare provider, but I must ask, what is a healthcare provider without a license? After 15 years of CMTC, California leads the nation in illicit massage businesses. CMTC has no formal complaint process, no oversight, and routinely ignores its own policies. Take the case of A to Z Health graduates being denied certification after biased telephone hearing with no recordings, no transcript, no reason given. A judge orders CMTC to certify this graduate, who some have been waiting for over 2 years. They refuse. Now CMTC arraigned on contempt charges. They will be facing criminal and civil penalties in 2 months from now. So before giving CMTC 4 more years, I urge you to ask, why are they refusing a court order? Why are they being rewarded while hundreds are blocked from working? There is no stay on the order. They must comply. Massage therapists deserve a real licensing board with due process, accountability, and public oversight, not more years of unchecked power by CMTC. Please, please vote no on AB 1504 and open a formal investigation into CMTC practices and audit them. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, 2 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and we appreciate your time and for your public service. My name is Lila Drillings. I represent A to Z Health Massage School. We are a 27-year-old family business. We are calling to sunset CMTC and establish a state licensing board for massage therapists. AB 1504 does not include the most basic due process procedure that CMTC will abide by, a timeline and end time to handle investigation of educational institution. I'm here today to share what it's like to be a school under CMTC investigation. 2 years of witch hunt, scrutiny, and shifting allegation. 2 years in limbo, no resolution, no closure, no accountability, and nobody to complain to. On what planet does it seem fair or acceptable that a business be placed under investigation indefinitely? Why not establish a timeline and a deadline? Let me tell you what due process looks like. I was forced to defend myself during a 5-hour phone call, not in person and not over Zoom, where I could have shared and referenced key document on screen while presenting our case. Despite repeatedly requesting a video hearing from the hearing department, which I believe was by Allison Siegel, so that the hearing officer could review evidence with us in real time, CMTC refused. Instead, for 5 hours, I had to speak into a phone, referring document we had submitted in advance, documents central to our defense, without any visual interaction or opportunity to ensure they were being reviewed properly. Why we were not allowed to face the hearing officers, to see those deciding whether our school should lose its approval or not. Just imagine CMTC going through its sunset review over a telephone call. We are calling on you to investigate how CMTC is using its authority and misusing it. Hundreds of individuals are in limbo for over 2 years, and so is our school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate all of you for coming and being witnesses. Anybody else in opposition in the audience to AB 1504? Okay, seeing no one, we're going to come back to the dais. I will remind the members that we had a very lengthy conversation about this over the break and had everybody in, had a really long hearing. So some of this may be very, very familiar to you, and just reiterate my gratitude to the Assemblyman for every year we switch which side is going to do some of the sunsets, and this is obviously a very challenging one, and to him for taking this on. So colleagues at the dais, are there any comments? Senator Archuleta moves the bill. Senator Troy, did you have a comment?
Okay, I would like to ask author to respond to major opposition witness concerns.
In regards to the...
Would you like to do that in your close?
Yes, I'll do that in my close. If that's
Senator Troy, do you have another question you'd like him to address in his close? Or is that the...
No, I would like to hear his response to all the opposition
Yes.
witness concerns that they have raised.
Okay, you okay with him doing that in his close?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, all right. I don't see any other questions from the dais, so this will be your opportunity to close and address Senator Choi's questions, and then we'll.
Appreciate the questions. Appreciate the conversation. I know there's a lot of different issues here in regards to the concerns in regards to the A through Z school or the A to Z school. There's litigation ongoing about that, so I'm not going to personally weigh into the specifics of that litigation and those concerns. But we did take amendments in the bill to help the students at A to Z, which is a big focus. Making sure that those students get in the workforce and practice. I know there were some concerns raised. I apologize. This might take a minute in regards to the PRA issue. First, I want to be clear that recent amendments to the bill apply the PRA to CMTC only, quote, to the extent practicable, meaning the council will never have to comply with a request for records that is excessive or burdensome. The PRA already includes many, many exemptions, including for investigatory files and communications with law enforcement, and as amended, this bill would go even beyond that. As amended, the bill would make it clear that CMTC has discretion not to turn over any records that are either investigatory or sensitive in nature, including those containing personally identifying information or information relating to law enforcement activities. The bill unambiguously allows CMTC to withhold records that would, if in any way, identify or impact human trafficking survivors. Despite these significant amendments, I still believe that greater transparency is essential for this council to remain trusted and effective. And just speaking briefly to these issues around executive compensation, this isn't a new issue. This is an issue that the Assembly and Senate BNP and BPED have acknowledged for 13 years, starting back in 2012 when the CEO of CMTC was getting paid $260,000. Fast forward 13 years to 2025. And the CEO of CMTC is now getting paid $616,000. This isn't a new issue, but I believe it's an issue that needs to be addressed, especially as CMTC continues to significantly increase fees on its licensees or on the massage therapists. Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
All right, you have a motion from. I'm sorry, Senator Troy, that was his close.
Yeah, I'm going to follow up. Yeah.
Okay, well, normally when a member closes, that's the end of the dialogue. But if you want to ask him one additional question, go ahead.
One of the major objections that I heard from the opposition witness was, what are you going to do about the unsupervised or unlicensed practitioners? Nobody supervises them.
That's the purpose of the council and law enforcement is to try to identify if they're unlicensed or uncertified.
So licensed massagist and then also unlicensed massagist can both practice?
I might defer to somebody from the Massage Therapy Council. I'm not totally sure if I understand the question.
I think we're going to, no. Senator Choi, the assembly member has already closed, so I'm not sure, what else we can do. I don't want to open a dialogue here with all of the witnesses again. Are you?
Would you give him the?
He's not a.
No, I raised a question before you asked me, or would you let him to close? I thought that you'll be giving me the chance to.
You want to have a dialogue with Mr. Berman. Okay.
Would you let him answer his feedback?
He runs a school. I believe your question is for the legal counsel that oversees the committee. You're asking about licensure, so we would have the licensure folks answer that question.
Okay.
Sure. So CMTC provides voluntary certification. So there are individuals who are certified by CMTC, and those individuals practice pursuant to their CMTC certificate. Other individuals are allowed to practice pursuant to local regulation. Hopefully that answers your question.
Senator Troy, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the assembly member respectfully asks for the assembly member respectfully asks for an aye vote. We have a motion on the table. We will do the roll call.
Motions do pass the Senate Public Safety Committee. Ashby?
Aye.
Ashby, aye. Choi?
No vote.
Not voting. Archuleta. Archuleta, I. Adagin. Adagin, I. Grayson. Minjavar. Nilo. Smallwood Cuevas. Strickland. Strickland, I. Umberg. Umberg, I. Weber Pearson.
All right, that's 5. Assemblymember Berman, we will leave that on call as we are quickly and swiftly losing colleagues to other committees and other hearings. I apologize again to everyone who came to testify. We're doing the best we can to move through a lofty agenda. The Monday morning time slot is a difficult one because we start to lose everybody quickly. We have one last Assemblymember Berman bill on veterinary.
Oh, he's done.
You're done? Okay, we did it? Okay, great.
Yeah, he's done.
All right, I missed that one. We're good.
Don't make me do an 8th.
All right, yeah, that's enough. Well, that's enough from you. Thank you, Assemblymember Berman. We will wait for just
Okay, the Senate Standing Committee on Public Safety is back in session, and we have 2 bill presentations left on this afternoon's agenda. And upon agreement of the authors, we're going to proceed now to file item 18, AB 1504, by Assemblymember Berman. And good afternoon, Assemblymember.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Assemblymember Valencia, for letting me sneak in front of you real quick. AB 1504 is the sunset bill for the California Massage Therapy Council, a nonprofit certifying body created by the legislature. This bill would extend the council's sunset date by 4 years and make additional reforms stemming from the council's sunset review, which is a comprehensive oversight process conducted jointly between the Senate and Assembly Business and Professions committees. I'm happy to accept the committee's proposed amendments and would like to thank committee staff for their work on the bill. And I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Let me just summarize briefly the amendments, which define conviction for purposes of denying a massage therapy certificate or imposing discipline on a certificate holder as a judgment following a plea or verdict of guilty or a plea of no contendere or finding of guilt. The amendment specified the Massage Therapy Council is permitted to take action following the establishment of a conviction only when the time for appeal has elapsed or the judgment of conviction has been affirmed on appeal or when an order granting probation is made suspending the imposition of a sentence. And so with that, we'll turn to our 2 witnesses to present for 2 minutes.
Terry with Aaron Reed and Associates representing the California Massage Therapy Council. Sunset review is always different than other legislation. The review obviously has great depth and the result has real consequence. We have been very pleased with this process. We've worked very closely with the Assembly member and continue to work closely with his estimable consultant, Mr. Sumner. There are issues of workability in terms of how this will operate with the new board. We are continuing to work with Mr. Sumner and the Assembly member and believe that those will be worked out. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Allison Siegel, Special Counsel to the California Massage Therapy Council. I'm just here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now take Me Too testimony in support of AB 1504. If you are in support and wish to testify, please state your name, organization, and position on the bill.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Monica Miller on behalf of the American Massage Therapy Association, AMTA. We're actually supportive of amend. We had a great conversation with your consultant. However, those amendments would be something that would be better served in the Business and Professions Committee. So thank you.
Thank you.
Rhonda Cutter, certified massage therapist for over 40 years, in strong support of the continuation of CAMTC as a voluntary certification for massage.
Stacy DeGoyer, massage therapist, concurring with Rhonda in support of the bill with amendments.
BJ Pitts, CMT, my number is 552, support of CAMTC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tony Psychotis, certified massage therapist in support of AB 1504.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to express support for AB 1504? Seeing none, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to AB 1504? Last call for any opposition speakers on AB 1504. Seeing no one, I'll bring it back to the committee and ask are there any questions, comments, or motion. Okay, moved by Senator Gonzalez. Okay, I'll turn it back over to the Assemblymember to close. The recommendation is to pass as amended.
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. We have a motion by Senator Gonzalez. If the committee assistant can please call the roll.
AB 1504 by Berman. Motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Adeguin?
Aye.
Adeguin, aye. Sayarto? Caballero? Gonzalez? Gonzalez, aye. Perez? Weiner.
Okay, we'll keep that bill on call for absent members. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll proceed now to our last bill that we're taking up, and this is our last hearing on assembly bills.
Move to suspense. AB 1504 by Assemblymember Berman, who has waived presentation. Testimony and support.
Madam Chair and members, Monica Miller on behalf of the American Massage Therapy Association, support if amended. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in support? How about in opposition? Department of Finance.
No file.
This is a suspense file candidate, so without objection, AB 1504 will move to suspense. AB 387-0, and again, the Committee on Business and Professions, the California Massage Therapy Council. This is a due pass recommendation with a roll call vote.
Caballero?
Aye.
Caballero, aye. Ciarto? Cabaldon? Cabaldon, aye. Dolly? Grayson? Grayson, aye. Richardson? Richardson, aye. Wahab? Wahab, aye. 5-0.
That bill is out 5-0. Moving on to Assemblymember Berner. AB
Assemblymember Berman for the California Massage Therapy Council. AB 1504 reauthorizes the existing council by an additional 4 years and adds additional reforms developed in collaboration between the Senate and Assembly committees, the council, and other stakeholders throughout the Sunset Review process. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no discussion or debate, Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Alvarado Gil. Archuleta. Aye. Adeguin. Aye. Ashby. Aye. Becker. Aye. Blakespeare. Aye. Cabaldon. Aye. Caballero. Aye. Cervantes. Aye. Choi. Cortezi. Talley. Aye. Durazo. Aye. Gonzalez. Aye. Grayson. Aye. Grove. Aye. Hurtado. Aye. Jones. Laird. Aye. Limon. Aye. McGuire. Aye. McNerney. Aye. Menjivar. Aye. Nilo. Ochoa Bog. Padilla. Aye. Perez. Aye. Reyes. Aye. Richardson. Aye. Rubio. Ciarto. Aye. Smallwood Cuevas. Aye. Stern. Aye. Strickland. Umberg. Aye. Valadares. Wahab. Aye. Weber Pearson. Weiner.
Senator Ashby moves the call. We will move to item 226, AB 1502. Secretary, please read.
Senate amendments are concurred in. Item 283, AB 1504 by Assemblymember Berman. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1504 by Assemblymember Berman, enacting the Healing Arts.
Assemblymember Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I apologize, everyone, for so many sunset bills. AB 1504 is the sunset bill for the California Massage Therapy Council, which is set to expire on January 1st, and that would still be bad, although some people want that to happen, but we think that would be bad. Senate amendments provide the council with much broader discretion when responding to requests from the public to inspect records and make various other changes in response to stakeholder feedback. I would like to thank committee staff in both the Assembly and the Senate for their very hard work throughout the sunset process this year. They are the ones that put in countless hours on these important bills. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll and tally the vote. Ayes 56, noes 1. Senate amendments are concurred in.